Yo! Video games.
All right, the most anticipated review of the year. We got Mike from Easy Allies over here, and we got Steven from Street Fighter. We got Kenny from Brazil, and we got Simmons from the depths of the abyss.
That's right, the dank hole of the Last Jedi.
It'll
make sense when you see it.
The dank hole. That's a spoiler already.
Oh damn!
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about Last Jedi, probably the most anticipated movie of the year.
Yeah, we'll try to keep a little bit at the beginning, spoiler free.
Yeah.
We'll try to be spoiler free at the beginning, and then we'll tell you we're going spoiler, and it'll probably be spoiler filled till the very
little
end.
bit spoiler free. I'm going to probably ask the person in the room that liked the movie the most what he thought of the movie. Steve.
Oh my god, dude!
What did you think of it?
Okay, well, without spoilers, it's kind of hard, but
Let's did you like it?
Okay, what do you mean? Pinpoint? Okay.
Did you like it?
I liked. I like Luke Skywalker. I really thought his character was very interesting, and they focused on him a lot, which was
a lot more than I thought
they would, right? Yeah. Because especially for how big he might have gotten as far as the actors.
Oh, dude, he was fit as fuck in this movie,
right? Which was kind of interesting. It makes me think that they might have actually put his hand on like a different body or something.
No, you got that Disney Hollywood personal trainer.
Yeah, but
you eat this, you eat that, you pump this, you pump that.
Yeah,
4 weeks later, good.
As far as the character's concerned, I felt very happy on how he was fleshed out and how he played the character and.
So you liked Luke?
Yeah, Luke was great.
What about the movie, though?
The movie altogether does have some holes, but I felt it kind of it felt like it finished in a way where I was reluctantly satisfied because I actually felt it would have turned out worse, but it felt like. Especially since I wasn't a fan of the one previous one.
You didn't like Force Awakens very much?
I didn't like Force Awakens at all. It felt like a literal rehash of the whole of the other series. So with this one, there were parts that felt like it was a total rehash, but at the end of the day, I kind of felt like it kind of had a way of settling everything for the characters up until now before they release another one, because we all know they're going to start throwing out
they're done.
Stuff. Oh, it's over?
They're done.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah, okay, yeah.
This is the last one.
Yeah. Disney, please, make some more money.
So Mike, did you like it? Did you not like it?
I'm still struggling to catch up with this film.
Yeah.
To me, it was just such a strange film.
Yeah.
I felt like the pacing was way too slow, which explains the runtime of this movie being
2.5
so long.
Yeah. There was a point where I was like, this is going to be the end. It feels like it's been a really long movie.
Yeah.
Oh god, we haven't seen any of that red sand shit.
There you go.
Yeah. That's why I didn't watch the trailers, because then I didn't know. So I was like,
and then it just kept going.
See, and that's how you kind of like trailers kind of throw you off. It's like, shit, this is long. Wait a minute. Oh, this thing that I saw.
That thing has not happened yet.
Yeah.
The core thing about, without spoiling it, like the kind of like the core plot in the movie just drags on for so long. And then once we get into the spoiler stuff, you'll probably understand what I'm talking about. They just keep going back to this scene and this conflict that's going on, and that is really what the whole movie is about.
It wasn't intriguing,
and it's really boring because the nature of what this is something that usually happens over a short period of time, frantic, fast-paced.
Yeah.
This is like spaced out over like almost 2 hours of the movie. It's like, you can't do this.
Right, remember before we saw the movie, I had said I'd heard that it's kind of like the Two Towers of the new Star Wars show.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. That is a very apt comparison.
Two Towers was a lot more entertaining.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kenny, how did you?
I'm with Steve. I liked it. It had some things in it that just made me kind of not like and like wondering why they went that way. And like
to see some tits.
Yeah, man. That's that made me happy.
That actually was in there.
Spoiler, we'll get to that.
But
it's not a spoiler. Whatever.
Yeah. And like the thing I was worried about is like Luke. I'm like, because like Luke, what is his name? Mark Hamill, tremendous voice actor, all this kind of stuff. But he kind of didn't do a lot of stuff after Star Wars, like physically wise.
So you're worried, like, in a performance, like a live action performance.
And I liked Luke a lot. He was awesome. And, all the characters that came back did their roles and they did good. Like, I dug Finn. I dug, Poe. All those guys. They did their thing, and they did it.
I gotta say, I think Poe really stepped up as a character, which I was kind of glad because I don't think he got enough screen time in the last movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's very brief.
He's there at the beginning. He fucks right off for a while, and then he comes back, and then you kind of don't see much.
The movie's about Finn. Yeah.
Mostly about Finn. I was happy to see Poe get a lot more stuff to do.
I think because they were like establishing Rey,
and he has a conflict and a motivation and an interesting one. While Finn is sort of the same.
Yeah.
He's like the same character.
He kind of goes to the same arc though. He's the same arc. And so I feel how you're saying about that.
Yeah. So overall, you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, but there was some things where I'm like, and I'll probably talk about it in the spoiler that just kind of really rubbed me the wrong. Maybe I'll watch it again and give a more precise thing. Because I think it is like the movie is frantic and things are going there, and
it was very Return of the Jedi-ish, where there are 3 critical things happening at certain parts. But in Return of the Jedi, they reserve like 3 big things happening for the end of the movie, like the climax. There's there's Luke and the conflict with the Emperor and Vader. There is the
that's very true.
Not
very
Tatooine,
true.
Endor. The fight on Endor with the Ewoks, and then there is the battle for the Death Star, all happening at the same time. So that is like happening through 90% this film. There's like 3 big things that are happening almost all the time.
You kind of feel I'm not saying it's like terribly jump cutted. There are some weird edits. As someone who edits a lot, like there were some weird shots, cutback shots, like in dialogue. That's a really weird shot.
There's some really great shots too.
And there are some really great shots. But then there were some weird edit cuts. But anyways, there was like. You could feel the splicing between moments. Like it wasn't like I do like Jedi. I feel Jedi kind of with the editing did pace the climax because again it was a climax.
And in Return of the Jedi, the 3 action structure in the end is carried well because the energy of each scene goes right into the next. For example, you got this somber moment of Luke like looking out and he's feeling really shitty because he's seeing all his friends dying, and you literally see them outside the window, but they're tiny and they're doing battles and blowing up. And then he makes the choice to strike down the Emperor, rips the thing out, hits the thing, and that energy collides, and the next shot is him laughing into a ship going right. It carries the energy, is what I'm saying.
Nice.
There was many moments in this film where they are doing a similar thing. There's 3 things happening, but the energy is really not carried. It's a completely different feel.
Something exciting's happening here, and then cut to
something totally different.
Nothing really going on over in this corner of the universe. So you feel the cutting away a bit, but for me, I don't think it was bad.
No, that's my feelings as well. I don't think the movie is bad.
Is it better than the prequels? By far.
Oh yeah.
There was some prequel-y-ass prequel shit in this movie.
Yes, there was. Yes, there fucking was. And it was noticeable. Like the opening shot felt, oh god. But
it was really Revenge of the Jedi. What is it called? Episode 3-ish.
Yeah, ROTS. Revenge of the Sith.
ROTS.
Well, that's the acronym.
ROTS.
Star Wars ROTS.
I've never called it that.
Revenge of the Sith. But it's better than all the prequels by far. Yes.
There you go.
It's not better than any of the original trilogy.
I don't think it's unfair comparing it to the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like
everyone,
it literally, the entire premise of modern Star Wars is carrying the stories and elements of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So making comparisons, like everyone's like, oh, you just are nostalgia. Like, well, that's the whole point of these films.
And maybe I'm getting the expression wrong, but it almost feels like with the new trilogy, they almost kind of want to have their cake and eat it too. Like they want to be new and original, but they also want to be like highly derivative of the original trilogy and do all of these, whether it's like literal callbacks or thematic callbacks or setups and scenes setups and all this stuff where it's like, hey, we're just going to mimic this thing from this classic trilogy that you remembered and loved.
And make it new!
And make it new, but then we'll put a little bit of a twist on it because we want to... So it's kind of got that like...
nostalgic feel to it.
So it's like it's trying really hard to be just like the old ones, and then it's trying to do new shit too, and then like it almost feels like... I mean, yes, the theme of the film is conflict, obviously, like, you know, that's kind of like the general...
family conflict.
Yeah, conflict, you know, internal or whatever. It's like the film is conflicted in whether or not it wants to be a completely new idea or tell some really new, cool shit, or just be another rehash like Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So
it's
it's
in the middle.
it's a conflicted
It,
film.
it, it definitely isn't like a rehash. Like you get the feeling of like there is a great portion of this film where fucking nothing good is happening. On every end there is something shitty happening to me, and there is just no good to be had. Like and that was like kind of like, this is really dreary. Like I know everything's gonna switch around at some point, but man, this is like almost hard to watch. Like when's the part gonna happen? Like I don't know. It was so and overall you kind of liked it.
It's okay.
It's yeah. You know what? And I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with the non-offensive. It's okay route.
Because I didn't absolutely hate it.
Me either.
Yeah.
I just
I didn't hate Force Awakens either. I didn't hate it.
I didn't.
It's
hate
a fun
it.
movie.
Yeah.
I think Force Awakens was more fun for me than this movie.
I think there are,
but
I think
this movie has some standout moments that I was like, oh,
yeah. There's some,
cool.
and that's what I. Yeah, there. I don't remember many moments from Force Awakens. I just remember Han Solo saving the fucking movie.
Yes.
Really, like being a huge
and
part of
my
it.
big fear going into this was like, can this new cast hold this movie together
Right.
without
That's kind of true. And you know what? And think about it. Like Luke is kind of he boosted this movie. Harrison Ford boosted the last movie.
Yeah.
You know what? We're gonna get Lando Calrissian boosting the next movie.
I completely agree. Like,
hope so.
Like the amount of Luke that was in the movie, I was not expecting. There was way more of it than I thought it even needed. But for what was there and the stuff it was setting up, I thought was great. Like, I thought, man, like he actually is acting like Luke. Like he is into that character. Mark Hamill just isn't playing Mark Hamill. Like no, everyone thinks Mark Hamill is Luke. Mark played that character, and he played him again at like the age of 60-something years old.
I think
and I thought that was really cool.
I think the most jarring thing in this movie was the amount of humor.
Like,
jokey humor moments.
Yeah, I think it was
like a little bit of Guardians and Thor Ragnarok like seeped into this film.
I think the movie kind of was self-aware in a way.
Almost
dude. There
were like parts where I'm like, am I watching Star Wars or Spaceballs?
Spaceballs.
Yeah. I feel the movie was incredibly self-aware
Really?
at some points, but almost to a begrudging point where it was frustrating. Like, because I don't want to get too much into spoiler territory. I guess just talk about how I feel. I'll say it's okay. There are aspects that are really high highs that are super good, really good. Like there's like 3 or 4 really great moments in the film.
Yeah, I'd say that.
And if we were to talk about Force Awakens, the only really great moment that I could remember from that film where you're like, fuck yeah, like is the part where like that hunk of junk pan over, it's the Millennium Falcon. Like that moment was like, oh, fucking Star Wars, I got the other, fucking Star Wars, like 4 points in this movie. So I give it to them. I didn't in Force Awakens. I really didn't get that feeling outside of that moment. Like there was.
Yeah, there were good humorous moments too in Force Awakens. Again, mostly carried by Harrison Ford.
When
he wants to borrow Chewie's boat.
And now it's being carried by fucking.
I felt like such a different type of humor though.
It was
Han Solo, like it felt in character. It felt like you would expect from him.
Yeah.
Some of the humor here, as you said, Max, like it was a little bit begrudging, but like a lot of it was almost. Like it felt like in the vein of the prequel trilogy level, like hijinks.
Yeah, there was some hijinks ass hijinks.
Oh yeah.
That was like, this is very
hijinky.
This is very hijinky.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of cute moments where I thought was kind of forced all the way. So
there's
a little
so there's
a little bit of cute moments.
And there's my ultimate problem. There feels like a lot of deliberate corporate influence.
Oh yeah. Yes, somebody's gonna make some money.
This fucking movie.
Somebody's selling some stuff.
Even more so than like Rogue One. I'm not no spoilers, but
exactly.
The ending really turned me off of this movie. The entire like last sequence of events, like the last 5 to 7 minutes, like almost made me say, I don't think I like this film.
Right.
I'm thinking about backing it out, and I'm thinking of the moments and the setups and some things, and then I'm actually like, okay, I'm feeling a bit better about it, which is why I give it an okay.
Yeah.
But leaving the theater, I'm like, Rogue One was better.
Right.
I actually thought Rogue One was better.
I think that's the difference between this one and Force Awakens is that the fact that there were parts in Force Awakens that I couldn't get past.
Yeah.
But with this movie, I'm like, I can get past that. I understand what they're doing. I'll let it go. You know what I mean? But with Force Awakens, there are just moments like where
charming moments.
Well, not even charming moments, but in like Force Awakens, where it's like literally, it's the Death Star but bigger.
Oh yeah,
and it destroys one planet. No, it destroys many.
Retaking the
yeah,
steps.
you know, and it's just like, no, I can't get.
And
past
it was
you know?
painful. Like it was like, God, really, we're doing this.
Yeah, like okay, sure, destroy more planets that nobody cares about.
You know, I did like how, like, say, Han handles the situation where he looks like. Well, I was like, we got to blow it up. There's got to be a way to blow it up.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And I like how he's just kind of like, well, we got to blow it up. There's always a way to blow one of these things up. You've seen this shit before, kind of thing.
Exactly. So
I like that bit of it, but the overall idea of them doing a Starkiller base was just kind of like, why?
Again? Yeah. But it destroys more planets?
And I don't know if we want to lead that in right now into spoiler territory.
Should we? I mean...
Or not.
Well, we each gave like our thing, our
general idea.
Because it's really hard to tread around a lot of aspects of this movie without getting into spoilers, but
it's okay.
Yeah. It's okay.
I would not watch it again.
I'm
not down for a second viewing. I'm kind of like whatever.
Well, it seems like for me, this doesn't seem like a Star Wars that I would kind of watch over and over again because I enjoyed it so much. I would do that for Rogue One. I enjoyed Rogue One. I would watch it a couple of times here and there because I really like the characters and such. I would watch Force Awakens again because there were some things I really liked about Force Awakens. But this one, I guess, just with the whole
once you know the conflict and once in.
It's like something I would like. Oh, I'm gonna watch it again. Yeah.
Spoiler territory.
Here we go.
Some small text at the top. Just put spoilers up. Spoilers be put up there.
Get them.
There is so much in this movie that is never like resolved, or things that go places and then just lead to nowhere.
Well, see, that's
and are unsatisfying.
And that's exactly what I want to bring up because we were talking about Starkiller Base, and I wanted to basically bring that into Force Awakens.
Yeah.
In Starkiller Base. We are never told exactly where the fuck does the First Order get its funding, get its manpower.
Yeah.
They kind of allude to the fact that rich people sell them weapons, but that didn't explain it. In fact, it made it worse because it's like, where's the money
coming from? Right.
Where does the First Order get the money to buy the weapons from the weapons and arms dealers? And this movie opens with the idea that the First Order has taken over the galaxy.
Right.
And it's like, where the fuck did they come from?
If the first movie left us with several questions about Snoke and the First Order, and why
that's what's
and
painful.
how and all that shit, all this movie does is gonna frustrate the fuck out of you.
At least with the Republic, you understand that there was a Senate hearing, and like the Emperor found a way.
They were just established, and they were around.
That's them. This is an empire that was brought together by all of the planets, so they kind of did it themselves.
But
now you're just like, this guy.
It rose from the shadows. If you read the first crawl,
but it
rose from the shadows of the Empire.
It bugs the shit out of me because it completely diminishes the fuck out of the whole original trilogy, especially Jedi, especially the ending of Jedi.
Yeah,
you blew up the fucking Emperor and the Death Star, and then they have this.
Emperor.
Then they have this whole thing where it's like. Okay, we don't get an explanation. Where the fuck did the First Order come from? Where did they get their money? Where did they get their funding? We saw even if you want to count special editions, which I don't, but let's say you do. You see them overthrowing Coruscant, blah blah blah. And then Kenny was saying, but in these movies they're just like, the First Order is around and reigns supreme. Here's the new Emperor. He acts just like the old Emperor.
And they were able to make an entire planet into a weapon.
And I deliberately remember a conversation me and Simmons having 2 years ago in our living room when we were like, we should probably make a video about this sometime, where we were literally trying to figure out how the Snoke is this Snoken? Who is this fucking guy? Where did he come from? How is he doing all this shit? What is he? There's nothing but questions, and
we're never told.
There's some things that are
literally never told
that leave you hanging in a bad way,
and that's okay. That's why I kind of want to think back on the movie. Let's start at the beginning of the film, and let's just take it chunk by chunk. The movie starts off with the rebels running away because the dickheads are after him.
Dude, and that's another thing with my movie because it's just 8 hours into the next movie, and that's it. Hey, this just happened. Well, here you go.
Yeah, there was
16 hours.
There was not really much passage of time.
16 hours, not much passage of time, and it was just we're getting chased.
Yeah,
it just to me just seemed like fuck, man. That was just an extended version of the other movie,
kind of,
because there was no other thing that it just felt like it's just this chase, and that was.
I mean, we could maybe there was some time passage, and it didn't feel like it necessarily. But again, it kind of just has this whole thing where it's just kind of like, who are these First Order? Where do they come from?
It was
it
was a consistent stress test. Like all of the characters were put under a tremendous amount of stress, and the entire premise wasn't we need to stop the Emperor. We need to stop this.
We need to get away.
We need to get the fuck out of here. And it was constant like.
Well, that was the idea. Is that there's the ideals of one side of avoiding conflict and another side internally inside the rebels, like Poe wanting conflict. We have to stop them instead of we have to get away from them. So I get it. Like, the theme of the movie was conflict. My biggest, the biggest thing is at the beginning of the movie is like an escape sequence, and that escape sequence continues for 2 fucking hours.
That's it.
And it slows to a literal crawl. It slows to a literal crawl. And then their excuse for it was like, they are staying just outside of our giant spaceship's range.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is our premise?
Yeah. That bugged me, man.
Can we talk about that for a second?
That is a whole movie.
So was the First Order just down to like that fleet and that's it? They couldn't send a signal to like, hey, go cut them off, like get in front of them.
Yeah, right.
Send out these little guys and
how fast were they going?
How
fast were they going?
Just to establish.
Somebody help me!
Just to establish.
They're going so fast.
So in that sequence, this is also building up to things that aren't explained and are left really unsatisfying for me. So there's a part right at the beginning of the film where they introduce Snoke, and I kind of love Snoke's goddamn palace. I think it looks really cool, and I love his weird ass gold robe and shit. Yeah. I actually dug the way Snoke looked in the movie. He's a big CG head, but I think I liked how evil he was. I dug that. He's just an evil shithead. He's just Emperor 2.0.
Yeah.
So there's a whole thing set up where they find them and they track them through light speed. Like, how do they track us through light speed? And there's this thing hinted at from Emperor and the Nazi guy talking to each other, and they're like, we have something. You better get into my office. Don't worry, I got them by a string. He's like, oh, that string is pretty sick. The Emperor is like, that's a sick string. And then he's like, see you later. And he pieces out. You never find out what the fuck. I guess it was their sick. And they eventually find out that they have this new technology on the ship that allows them to track through light speed. Yeah. But that was it. We got some sick tech.
Yes.
Sick.
So, and then he's like, you did a good job, other guy. Yeah. What about you, Force Boy?
Fuck you, Force Boy. So there was throughout the whole movie, I was always anticipating buy a string, and he got him convinced. He didn't tell him about the sick bandwidth we got on this hi-fi Wi-Fi.
God damn it, man.
Yeah. He literally described it to him like that. He was like, oh, that's a string, and we're pulling it. I was like, oh, they got someone on the inside.
That's what I thought.
Everyone thought
I thought.
Everyone was like, oh, the chick with the purple hair is totally working for the Empire or some shit.
And I kept thinking that it was they had a homing thing on.
Yeah, I thought it was on the ship. I thought there was something on the ship.
Okay, so Leia had a bracelet that connected her to Rey.
Right, and they were tracking it. I totally thought there was something on the ship.
And I thought, okay, they're homing on that bracelet signal.
I didn't think it was an inside job. I thought there was something on the ship that they were tracking.
It wasn't that. It was just and then Finn and the new girl start talking to each other, and they pretty much deduce that it is some sick tech.
Right.
And we gotta go bust that sick tech up. Yeah. And that ends up being our story, that we're gonna slowly crawl away from them while they're slowly behind, and we're gonna go to some fucking casino to find some shithead to ask him if he knows how to break the sick tech.
Yeah.
And that is our premise.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. So we had those were our 3 split comes in.
Yeah.
You have Finn and Rose going on this spy mission, more or less, find this code breaker.
Yes.
You have Poe on the ship with Leia unconscious and Laura Dern just you think she's just a super total cunt throughout most of the movie, and then
they pull a 180 on her.
They pull a 180 and oh, she's not a super mega cunt. She was actually doing something really noble. Why didn't she ever just pull the guy Poe aside and just explain to him?
Exactly.
What was the reason what you were doing?
Okay, here's my thing.
And you have this hothead guy.
Okay,
let me go really quick.
Okay, go for it.
My whole thing is she's keeping it a secret because she knows there's a mole. She knows that she doesn't know who it is, so that we can't tell anyone. But there was no fucking mole. So why not just tell him?
Right.
We're gonna wait.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait. And you knew Poe wasn't the mole, so you could have told him in private.
Exactly. Here's the thing. Okay. the problem with the Poe, he's a cool pilot guy, you know, he goes and he does all this cool stuff. But guess what? He inadvertently gets everyone killed.
Yeah.
He's getting everywhere. He is so irresponsible. He gets everyone killed.
Dude, yeah,
the problem with this is that even her, without her telling him what is going on, she inadvertently gets everyone else killed because he is irresponsible.
Yeah.
He goes out and he goes out
and they start shooting each other and shit.
Right?
Okay,
What the fuck?
I would not call him irresponsible. Because his plan is to fucking stop the big fucking ship from killing them. So when she says we're gonna jump in escape pods, he's like they're unshielded, they're gonna get shot down.
Anyway,
Everything in his mind is like you're sending people out to die. You're giving them all this false pretense that either A, we're just gonna keep running and just wait till it ends, or B, we're gonna jump in escape pod.
Hey, listen. We're not really doing that. We're just buying time.
Right,
when we get to the planet.
So everything Poe does makes sense. Poe is doing everything in his power to do something to save everyone.
Right.
Well, she's the one who's not telling him that they're going towards an abandoned base.
Complete irresponsibility. But then again, Poe gets people killed at the beginning. And also at the end where he's like, yeah, okay, we need to go stop this giant boom cannon that's going to do something. Yeah. They head towards the boom cannon and he's like, oh shit, we need to get the fuck out because it's really powerful. So he leaves and everybody dies.
That's the ultimate theme of the movie. The ultimate theme of the movie is that we're going to go do something and we're not going to do it.
And you know what's funny? It was Poe's plan that got all those ships killed. Because they went to go find the code breaker, and the code breaker snitched. And they're like, "Oh look, they're leaving over there."
That's what I was
and so it was fucking Poe's fuck up. That's fucked up everybody in the beginning, and then fucked up everybody at the end. If they didn't do that plan and kind of listen, they would have snuck off to there.
Ultimately, going to the casino was completely
wasted. See, that was the real problem. Because again, I feel Poe was justified in everything he did from what he knew and how he was taking the situation.
Yeah,
everything Poe did. Completely justifiable from his point of view.
Exactly, from his point of view.
But here's the problem. So that was one of the plots. His whole they sent Finn and Rose to go get this code breaker to do this, so they could get on the Super Star Destroyer, so they could disable its tracker. Yeah. So then they can make a quick jump to light speed and not be tracked.
Right.
Okay, that was completely 100% pointless. Absolutely
convoluted as hell.
Absolutely fucking pointless in the end. Completely pointless. Did nothing.
Didn't lead anywhere, and the guy that they introduced just pieces out.
Yeah.
All it did was just, I would need to kill off some rebels.
Yeah. They had an 18-hour window to go in this ship that can go light speed to go do something, and they go to a casino for this convoluted plot to get an agent hacker dude to go into the most guarded ship to maybe shut down some things so they can light through away. You have 18 hours with that ship. You could have done so many other things with that, like go get help or go get more fuel. Like I was like, it was for the sake of trying to make an entertaining scene. Right. And that casino sequence, I want to get into it. Yeah. It was like that was the worst part of the movie for me. The most episode one,
it felt like it
fringe level stuff.
It really felt like it should have been cool, but it wasn't.
No, it felt like it should have been like a tour de force of like an alien casino, and it just came across as like hokey.
It's like really it was like a lesser version of Maz.
The ship was like at critical, it's at critical. At what point, where is the ship gonna go when it has no fuel? Like, we gotta go to light speed after the ship is in critical. Like, oh my god, there's no more fuel.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The ultimate conflict.
That was kind of like the other weird part where they're kind of like, the fuel's depleting, so we gotta do this thing before it's depleted so they can make jump to light. But jump to light speed burn fuel.
There's different types of fuel.
So they've already burned out all their fuel by
how are you gonna get away?
Let's say they get it done with
a little bit
hour 17.
Yeah.
And there's an hour left of fuel. Do they even have enough to jump? Like,
you're not gonna get away.
But it doesn't matter because again, the whole goddamn plot with Finn and Rose is 100% pointless in the movie. It adds nothing. It bears nothing on the characters. It all it leads to is a really fucking awful forced romance.
And you know what's
with Finn and Rose? That she blossoms into a romance within 18 hours, and it just was like,
it doesn't blossom.
She idolized them. She really idolized them.
She idolized them until she actually hated him. Like right, their whole thing starts off like, and that was the thing. She's supposed to be like the romantic interest. Right. There was. Besides the first moment they met, and then she literally changes her mind right in that moment because she sees him as a traitor all of a sudden. She never shows any romantic interest until the moment before she dies, and then she doesn't die.
Because I think it was because she saw him as a hero once again. when she first saw him, she was romantic.
That's forced.
When she first saw him, she probably had a romantic, oh my god, you're my idol type of thing. But then when she saw that he was a traitor, she lost that. But then when she saw she was a hero again,
when she kissed him, I got a literal audible, huh? Like the whole audience went, huh?
Same thing with the Man of Steel. Like the kiss between Superman and Lois Lane, like out of nowhere, was just like, what? Like it didn't seem to fit. It was just
that almost comes in the sort of like Hollywood producer level
where they're like, there has to be something.
A romance.
Yeah, there has to be something.
Because if you think about it, if they didn't have that scene, there was actually zero romance. In the film whatsoever.
And what's funny is that scene could have been cut from the movie.
Completely.
It would have made the movie shorter.
Nothing would have changed.
And made it more kind of impactful.
I'm like, man, Finn is about to make a noble sacrifice. This is
I thought.
I was like, wow, we're gonna kill him.
I honestly thought he was done. Yeah, I thought he was dead. You know what's funny? There was more romance between Kylo Ren and Rey.
Some weird, creepy.
And yet those two ended up kissing. So it's like
but there was this weird sexual tension between them. I felt.
Definitely. It is there.
She's not comfortable with it. He's just like,
no, he's trying to. He's trying to create the next generation of Jedi over here. You know what I mean?
He's being a little, Kylo Afflecky, a little.
Shirtless Ren.
Shirtless
Ren scene.
That was
I felt a jump in the seat.
Oh, okay, we're getting somewhere. All right then.
When they showed Kylo Ren, I heard like a big thump, like an audible, like someone got a little squeamish.
All right then. I was saying, that's cool. What did you guys think of him destroying the mask early? Like, well, what was... Like
I was like, good.
Like you didn't no one wants to see the mask ever again.
Fuck his dumb mask.
Yeah.
Well, because he took it off, but he always looked cooler with it on.
Right. I felt like
mask characters look cooler.
I feel that Star Wars needs that masked bad guy at this point because it was such a huge impact.
We already know what he looks like underneath,
which kind of fucking ruined
already
it.
Over.
Which kind of ruined it.
It's already.
But anyways,
over
he should have. Well, I like I said, I'm with Steve. He's got to have that guy, Darth Vader. Fucking cool guy.
So here's the thing. They clearly wanted Kylo Ren to be the next Darth Vader. Right. I remember this from the merchandising aspect. When Force Awakens came out, they were totally expecting Kylo Ren to be the big villain of this trilogy. The big new Darth Vader. Yes, Benny. And the problem is that the toys actually didn't take off. They found this weird thing where people just didn't attach to Kylo Ren. Your daughter absolved.
Absolved.
But they found a lot of people just weren't really buying his shit. Weren't really getting into and buying the merchandise for Kylo Ren as much as they were Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And it's because he's not Darth Vader.
Exactly.
And I appreciate them trying to actually make Anakin as a different the real Anakin.
They did toss that out.
I think the problem is that there's no mystery. When you have a mask and everybody knows what you look like and you're just some normal-looking kid, there's no mystery. With Darth Vader, they didn't reveal it until the third movie.
Yeah, well,
at the very end when he's dying.
Right. So, once the mystery is gone so early, it's like, why would I want to buy the mask character? I already know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Sure. But, as a villain... I'm still kind of debating whether or not he really even makes it.
I actually don't hate Kylo in this movie.
Right, yeah. I do.
I really don't mind him in this movie. I think he does a good job carrying the evil guy. And he actually goes through an interesting arc in this film too, because he has
conflicted evil guy.
He has a lapse of his faith and ideals, and there's some good shit though. Yeah. So talking about the other part that was good, Mark Hamill. Fucking Luke is the best part of the movie. All the dialogue and the stuff and the references and him, sort of training Rey, but very fast.
Honestly, okay. The one thing I was a little kind of really about was how just mopey Luke was about I failed him. I failed this guy. I'm
he really felt Advent Children.
Yeah, and I'm kind of okay, I just don't feel like this would be Luke after the end of Return of the Jedi. I just I really don't feel Luke would be so fucking butthurt at this point.
This is something that fucking gets me. Why the fuck did you let this kid who was the potential dark side kill all of these kids, and then you just let them get away, and then you sit back and you mope about it? This isn't Luke. When he found out that his father was, he went after him. He did all he could to go after him right away. Why is it that when this kid does all this bad stuff, he's just like, yeah, it's fine. I'll just let him go and create and do more bad stuff.
Yeah, he just, I don't know, the whole
and then I'll just stop being a Jedi.
The whole idea of him just being so guilt-ridden and just kind of runs away.
That's not the character.
I didn't feel it was Luke. I don't feel Luke.
That's not the character.
I don't feel it was. They kind of they chew over it like,
Yeah.
I failed him, and then
Yeah,
like
they really chew over it.
Why did you do this? Because this part, and this guy's like, well, he didn't tell you this part of it. Well, I didn't tell you this part of it. Kind
Right,
of
yeah.
Well, you know what?
Like,
That's definitely, if you look at the first three,
And I think
original
here's the
three, that's
thing,
not the character.
because the
No,
first
no.
one left you so like wondering like, why is he here? You probably thought, man, maybe he went to this island because it's the first Jedi area to get this super badass
to
power
meditate or
and beat him.
something.
Right, to do
And then when you
Pick up
find
the
out,
dank hole.
yeah, exactly. And then when you find out to like, he just went here to die, it's kind of a letdown. Like literally, I'm like, dude, he's going in there and he's gonna find some crazy U-Force power and he's gonna power up and he's gonna fuck up Kylo Ren.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, no, I just want
and they drag it out. They're like, oh, because Kylo Ren failed me, he killed all my students. And Kylo's like, he didn't tell you tried to kill me first. And like, I did try to kill him, but then it was just a moment of weakness, and I was gonna stop myself before it actually happened. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But again, like all this just doesn't. Okay, I just don't see Luke just running off to be a hermit and live
And
off
stopping,
and just go and live off of alien jizz.
I mean,
for a meal.
I mean,
Can we talk about
we
that?
found
good
the
God.
That was such an awkward scene.
Because like I get it, it's supposed to be his udders, but it just looked like he had a bunch of penises and Luke's sitting there
Why
just
did he
jerking it like,
why did he like smiled after that? He like
smiled,
smiled,
it was like he fucking like
You know
yeah,
what?
dude. It was
that
the
was
most
so awkward.
You know what? Though?
again another one of those weird
Here's the
moments
thing.
of
We found the origin of blue milk from a space manatee's tit.
Yeah.
It's not his tit though. It's totally between his legs. It's like
And even
It
the
was
alien,
horrible.
it's super low for
awkwardly
udders.
looks at the alien, and the alien turns and looks at her.
and
you're like,
gives her this look, just like yeah.
Gives her this look. That's my jizz.
That's what
Jesus.
you see what I'm doing right now?
That's
I know you want
And
some of this, right?
Luke's
Yeah,
just
you're gonna get
smiling
some of
about
that.
it and was like, "What
It
the
was
fuck?"
so
are we
off.
doing?
I was like,
There-
what is happening?
And there's once again so many things that are just left like unresolved or unsatisfying. Like she goes down, there's this big you looked into the dark side.
Right?
How could you do that? And
I
she
don't
literally
understand that.
so she literally goes down there, investigates it, and gets pulled in and has this weird trippy moment where she's finally asking the questions like why she is doing all this stuff to find out who her parents are.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's her big question. And there's this literal like moment from Empire where Luke goes into the cave and Yoda's like, don't go in there, you're not gonna find shit, it's dank and bad. And she does this thing and there she has this weird trip out hallucin
Completely useless.
and it just leads to literally nothing.
Nothing.
And she just sees herself and then eventually
She came there to find herself.
yeah, I mean, I guess, but it's like, what is she seeing? What is the, like, why, what was that the darkness? Like, I guess it wasn't, because she just saw
That's what
herself.
I thought the dark side was there, and that's would have been like some sort of explanation of why Luke was like he was trying to protect it or trying to stop it or
Once
something
again,
like that.
leading to something that seems really interesting and cool, and then it's literally just nothing.
Nothing.
Yep.
And then another moment, like, later on where, like, characters or things are, like, being set up, and you're thinking it's going to lead to one way, and then it just doesn't happen.
Right.
It just doesn't go anywhere. So
Yeah.
that happens so fucking much in this film. Like, not to mention like the casino sequence that just leads to nothing happening. And then I'm trying to think of the other one that was really Luke just showing up out of nowhere. Like, literally, I'm just gonna walk through the back door. I'm not gonna have any big important scene. Like, no one's coming. Oh, there you are. And he just literally shows up, and I'm like, that was a really uneventful kind of moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it led to some.
You know what's
it led to
okay.
some cool shots.
So we're in spoiler territory. That just shows how badass he is because he went up there and he went up to Leia. He wasn't even there, and he touched Leia.
Oh, that is true. Yeah,
That is crazy. I just thought about that.
He
right
force ghosts his way in there.
Yeah, he force ghosts his way in
That's
there.
what I'm saying. Like that's why
But
I
that
liked
was
about
like,
the part
did-
because a
did-
lot of people didn't understand it.
Did Leia know him? Because literally they touched and they felt their hand and they saw each other.
Yeah.
So I'm like, holy fuck, that's some
I
kind of
think
power.
I think Leia understood that it wasn't really
talks
him.
to him, and you think, oh, he's really there because C-3PO talked to him. But I was just like, the thing that was bugging me the whole time when it's really just astral projection.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is his beard fucking like trimmed in black?
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what
bugging me,
that was the giveaway.
So I was like,
That was the giveaway.
why is he like technically younger?
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
I mean, but no, of course, it's
And
not
he was
explained anything.
slimmer. Do you realize that he was actually slimmer?
I think
in
he
that
was
one?
supposed to be the younger projection.
Exactly, exactly. And that's why I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But that's what was crazy about it. I think Leia knew that it wasn't him. That's why she was able to get the kiss on the forehead, because he kissed her on the forehead as well.
Yeah.
And he also gave her the thing. I think she understood it wasn't him and that it was his time to go. So it was like the final goodbye. And then by the time he went out there, it was like none of us really understood, oh shit, that's not him, until the big reveal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that was very important that he was able to just show up and everybody was like, because he's a legend at that
point. It led to a cool moment.
Yeah, fucking bad.
It led to a cool moment, but that moment itself was just like, wow, this is happening.
And I get it. He was, and Poe figures out he's buying him time to escape. Blah blah blah.
Let's talk about that because let's talk about the cool moments because there is some really good moments.
There's some really cool moments.
Some like fucking Star Wars moments. Before I talk about the ending, which has almost put me off the whole movie.
Right.
The last like 5-6 minutes almost put me off the whole movie. I think the first like big best moment is the conflict with Snoke and Ren and Rey. That there's a build up where, I mean, spoilers of course, where Kylo Ren kills Snoke, and the build up to it and all the startup and the music and the crescendo and the action that takes place after, fucking awesome.
Excellent fucking
But you know, like
really good
that
scene.
is also a problem. It was great, but also a problem because the Snoke, he's talking, we're kind of finding out what's going on, things are going on, and he's fucking dead.
Well, then ultimately it leads to another issue where Snoke is not explained who the fuck he is, how the fuck he was able to get control of Ben when he was younger, and how the hell does he have more fucking power than Darth Vader? Like, how is he just, I'm gonna flip shit all over the place and fucking, I'm crazy with all this. Like, where did this guy come from? Like,
exactly.
Is he Darth Sidious? No, they never really. Like,
and that was the thing that's always bothered me from Force Awakens, and then they almost allude to the fact here, like, oh, we're gonna find out, and then we don't.
Yeah, we literally find out,
like, because the whole part of like, the whole conflict that kind of like they do the 3-part, like, I did this, I did this. When Luke says, Ben, tried to kill me, and he killed almost half my students, took them with him, and then disappeared. And then it was like, well, it's because Luke tried to kill Ben first. And it was like, Luke was like, I just had a moment of like, fear, and then I got over it really quick, but it was too late. That was all they established in the movie. That was after Snoke had gotten to Ben.
Yeah.
Right.
Again,
how the fuck did this happen?
What the fuck?
And
did Snoke offer Ben?
They revisit. They literally go back and like revisit the moments in this movie where Luke is saying he was seeing the future, where he was gonna fuck all the shit up, and he fucks up all the shit anyway.
Right.
But how? Like, how did this happen? Like,
they don't explain.
They're sitting there chilling in some place, like learning about Force and shit, and all of a sudden Luke is like, "Oh, Snoke has gotten to him." It's like,
I honestly,
when did this happen?
They're trying to build up to something else that they're going to explain it later. It's the same thing with it's the same thing with
another
Ren.
Emperor guy. Like,
at this point, it has to be.
Snoke and Luke are gone, so. And Carrie Fisher has literally passed away.
Yeah.
So everything
is going to reside.
Well, I mean, like, there's never going to be any resolution, and just Kylo Ren, just for some fucking reason,
is going to be
explains it in Episode 9 of
exactly.
Why did you join the dark side?
It's going to be like some sort of flashback.
And it's just kind of like, what the fuck did Snoke? I mean, like. You could maybe do Force Ghosts, Andy Serkis could do mocap, flashback scenes, whatever.
Sure, I guess.
It's still just one of those fucking things where it's just kind of like,
yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? What the fuck was? It just felt like we need to have Darth Vader 2.0. We need to have Emperor 2.0. We need to have Death Star 2.0.
And
we need to have Empire 2.0.
Why do we need a Luke Notes? We just need
This is where I get like a little frustrated with the new trilogy, because it's like they want their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
They want to have their twist where like, oh, we killed the Emperor in the second movie.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and like.
But they don't explain it. They just throw them out there.
But they just wanted to have everything from the fucking first trilogy.
Well, this was the problem with the Death Star. They just wanted to have another Death Star.
They just wanted to have it in there. And this is where the frustration I think comes in.
Okay.
Because with Jedi ending, there's no reason for this to fucking happen.
Right.
There is absolutely zero reason for a character like Snoke to even fucking exist.
Yeah. Here's another cool part that I thought was really fucking cool, but it didn't go anywhere. I felt. Was the fight between Finn and the Chrome chick.
Oh, that was just once again Phasma just shoved into this part of the movie.
It was really cool, but at the end of it was just
so she can get her ass beat all of a sudden.
Right. She shouldn't have even been alive, honestly.
Why were we so enthralled with that battle between those two anyway? Was there really an epic build-up between those two to fight?
I mean,
it's from Force Awakens, because she was his commander.
Right, I get that.
You get their history, but they never build up.
There was never a build-up between the tension of why they hate each other so much.
And she shows up at the end, just, the thing is, they get knocked down and then she shows up. Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And then they kill her again.
Then they literally kill her again.
Right.
Because there's no reason she should have been alive in the first place. They threw her in the fucking garbage chute about like a half hour before they blew the whole fucking planet. Who the fuck was going in the garbage chute?
Right.
To find Phasma in Force Awakens. Like, I already thought Hux getting Kylo Ren was a real fucking ass pull stretch.
Right.
Because he got knocked his ass out in the middle of the fucking forest.
Yeah.
Way the fuck away from where Hux was. But, you know, fucking CEO Bob Iger Snoke over there, you know, go, bring me Kylo Ren. I must complete his training.
Yeah.
Like, he's dead and he's knocked out in the fucking forest somewhere and the planet's literally falling apart.
Right.
How the fuck is Hux gonna know where he is? He ain't a Force user. Oh, I guess Snoke could tell him. Maybe. But it was already an ass pull because the planet was literally like
falling apart.
Yeah. You know, about to blow the fuck up.
Yeah.
When they told Hux to go get him. I'm like, it's already an ass pull that Kylo Ren's alive. Phasma should not even be alive at all.
Right.
But she is, so she can show up. We can have kind of a neat fight scene.
A climactic fight.
Yeah. And then have her fucking fall and blow up again.
Led nowhere. Like, it was literally, she calls him rebel scum, or she calls him scum. And
no,
he
he's
goes,
rebel.
And he goes, rebel. Yeah, and he goes,
rebel scum.
Right. And I was like, I don't want to get crazy. But it was a little racial thing there. It kind of felt like a little racial.
He called himself rebel scum.
He called himself rebel scum, but like she was like scum.
You always work.
And it's like, yeah, right. And I was like, it kind of felt
she's a traitor.
It kind of felt a little weird, but at the same time, it was just like
I didn't get it.
It's like you guys says they're the new age Nazis. You know what I mean? Like they're like
I don't think
they're
it was Nazis. It was just like
no, that's what the Empire.
She was salty.
That's what the Empire.
She was salty
because he betrayed the Empire.
And the thing is, they brought her back. Here's my kind of gripe with the second one. There was 2 new characters. Codebreaker Man and Finn's love interest.
Yeah,
we didn't get any really cool fucking characters to like attach on. Like
I was really
in the second Star Wars, you get more of like the Boba Fett, and you get to see all these other cool characters. I know he sucks. He sucks. He does nothing, but he looks cool.
You get Boba, you get Lando.
Yeah, you get Lando.
Lando's a good addition.
Yeah,
Lando's a fucking great addition.
And you also get Jar Jar Binks. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Everyone was anticipating that Lando was gonna like run the casino or something.
Yeah,
it's like I really was like, oh, dude,
that would have been a great.
I was expecting Lando to be
that would have been a much better payoff to the casino.
Here we go. This is why they're doing all this like pointless shit, because they're gonna bring Lando, and Lando's gonna like bail them out like usual.
Yes.
And then
Benicio
del Toro, which seemed cool, but he seemed like such a throwaway in the end too.
Yeah, he seemed like a really cool character that he's gonna be an interesting addition, the quirky guy to the team. And then he literally it goes nowhere.
He just fucks right off at one point in the movie.
Yeah.
He just literally all right,
I almost thought he would have came back. He's like, look, guys, I did this. I know it's fucked up, but I had to do it, like kind of like a Lando thing. It's like, because we all would have got captured and we all would have got fucked. Yeah. This kind of buys me some time. I escape. I come by and help you guys fucking out or some shit like that. But you know, I don't know.
He just fucked right off.
Once again,
he made his money. He was gone.
Once again, another thing that just goes nowhere.
Yeah, boom.
I think the point was supposed to be
Lando Calrissian should have fucking came back. It should have been that casino thing because he's a gambler. He's all this thing, and he's like, holy shit, he was fucking captain of Space Town over there, and now is this casino thing, and he lets him out.
Everybody in that area is supposed to be like bad, you know, like everybody.
They're not bad. They're just rich assholes. They're
rich off of the war.
They're all arms dealers.
Yeah, that feed off of the war.
Cool. Oh, great. I kind of like that sort of like seediness to the Star Wars universe, which you don't see a lot of.
Right.
Where the fuck is the First Order getting the money from?
Right.
I mean, we know. You said it a lot. We know. Like nobody knows. It's not answered. So the other cool moments, I would say, like, I definitely remember them taking the head lady taking the ship and blasting light speed.
Oh,
awesome! Fucking sick as shit. It doesn't last very long, but like the build up to it, and then the
dead silence.
The dead silence after, which was just the shots are great.
Yeah,
great,
which is phenomenal. Because you never get that in Star Wars because it's so fucking noisy in space. It is noisy as fuck. But when you see this moment in this flash,
and you see it happening, oh dude, she's gonna light speed right through that motherfucker. And I'm like, what's this gonna look?
Everyone is always.
What's this gonna look like?
What happens when you ram something at light speed? What is it gonna look like?
And that's just fucking sick. Like that's exactly like, man, what would happen if you light speed through? Holy shit! Wow, that's crazy.
I thought she was just gonna collide with it.
Where something comes out of light speed in front of something.
Yeah.
So they showed that in Rogue One. This one went through it.
Yeah.
And there was like there was someone in the audience who was like,
someone like straight orgasm. Someone because it goes dead quiet.
Yeah.
There's no audio. There's no decibels coming from the movie, and you hear everyone breathing, and someone's like,
Yeah.
So goddamn funny.
That's classic.
It was like seeing slow motion of a lightning strike almost.
Yeah.
Like how it branched out and like hit the
Yeah.
Snoke shit, and then hit everything else. It was like
Because just
Speaking of
watching
lightning,
a bullet hitting something in slow motion was so good.
speaking of lightning, the Yoda scene was pretty
Yeah. Yoda was
Great
actually
moment.
puppet.
Great moment.
Yeah.
He was either a puppet or a CG character animated to look like.
No, Max, no.
I don't know.
They went back to this from
Max.
They actually went back.
Either way, it was great.
It actually was a puppet.
Of course it was.
awesome.
Yes, I know.
Either way, it was great. Like,
Yeah.
the Yoda scene was
They brought
really
him back.
It felt good. He didn't felt so CG like the prequels.
Here's the funny. There are two things I gotta give the movie credit for.
He does like a as he burns the tree.
Well, that's where I want to put
The
it.
sacred text.
Yeah.
There's two things I liked about it. One, Yoda was a puppet, but he acted like Empire Yoda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciated him being all
Yeah, he acted like jaded
kooky,
and loner and
kooky,
weird.
Yeah, he acted all weird and kooky like Yoda.
Not like, I'm running a Senate, like, Yoda.
Yeah.
Everyone do your homework.
And I liked how there was a moment where Luke could have totally fucking delved into midichlorians. But
They stopped there.
he just didn't. He did.
Even when she asked
he went
him,
back to like old school style. It's an energy.
right?
Yeah.
Even when she asked
It
him,
was
"What
a
is this?
great-
Like, what am I?" and all that stuff like that, he never really explained what it is. He's like, "No, just feel around you. It's the earth. It's the trees." He never went to midichlorians
I think
at all.
ultimately, like, I like Rey a bit more in this movie, but ultimately, like, and Poe's a little bit better, but I don't think those characters, and I don't even think it's the actor's fault, I don't think the way those characters are structured hold the movie in any way. Like, I think Poe adds an interesting element, but alone, he's kind of a shithead.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really work. He needs balance, and they're never together. Like, they're never fucking together.
Okay, that's the other problem that kind of bothered me with this one. And
I
the
know.
last one is like,
Hey, I'm Finn. I know.
Yeah.
Like, I only heard of you. I've heard
Finn,
of you.
or I'm sorry, Poe and Rey meet at the very end of this movie.
Yeah.
So like 2/3 of this new trilogy's gone by, and 2 of the 3 leads have never met. Until like the
and they
very
never
end of
really
it.
worked together. They never had crazy adventures together.
This is the big difference between the original trilogy. They don't go on adventures as a crew.
Build that bond and build a thing.
There's no chemistry between the
Finn
characters.
builds a bond 18 hours with his Asian girlfriend, and that's about it. But like that's the thing that all these Star Wars, they go on these adventures and bonds, and they escape death, and they have all these things. And in these movies, they kept getting separated.
There's always like 4 of them together, and a couple of maybe one or the other doing something else, but they're always together. So far in this movie, there's no camaraderie yet.
Yeah,
like
Chewbacca's the only one that can really hold them together at this point, and he's just went off.
There's a little bit with Rey and Finn in Force Awakens, and that lasts for a while, but then Poe just fucks right off for the majority of the movie. He comes back later, so there's not much with him. And then really, like, Poe's just doing his own thing. Yeah. He's doing his own thing, just being a guy that shoots shit. And this is what I do, and we got to stop him. So we don't. There's no relationship happening. Like even Finn and Rey in the second movie barely ever see each other until the end, and they literally just hug and that's it.
Hug it up.
Yeah,
hug it up.
So that's the obvious thing that's missing. Is the character relationships and chemistry.
So that's the problem, as you kind of nailed on the forehead, and it angered me that they didn't. Again, they did it with the original cast too, where I know Mark Hamill said I kind of I was a little annoyed with the fact that in the original, him, Carrie and Harrison never met on screen. Yeah. And he's I thought it might have been better, but then I felt like maybe that was a little too hokey. Maybe they made the right decision. He was being all politically nice about it. Right. But you go back to the original trilogy, you think about it, like it starts with this C-3PO R2-D2 following them, and it's focused on them until they get to Luke, and then it's focused on Luke, C-3PO R2-D2. C-3PO and R2 don't fuck right off at all. Like they stay together, and then they add Ben. And then they stay. Those 4 stay together, and then they add Han and Chewie, and then those 4 are together. Yeah. And then they get on the Death Star,
and they add Leia.
They add Leia.
They're literally building their big RPG party to take down the thing in the end.
They're a little split up on the Death Star, but they're all kind of working together. They have their communicators. Blah blah blah. Ben dies, and then the rest of them all escape. And then they all decide, they're going to go attack the Death Star, though Han Han just fucked right off. But no, Han comes in to save the day. Yeah. Has this big climactic ending where these 3 people who all kind of met and worked together haphazardly and have worked together to build, this nice.
They have an obvious bond by the end.
And it starts that way with Empire, where they're all working together on Echo Base.
And then they're separated, and it hurts them.
Yeah, and it hurts them. So then they split, but it's just Luke. Yeah. Just Luke who goes and meets Yoda, and then the rest of them are all together and with Han trying to escape the Empire. Gets a little long-winded if you're a kid and just wanting more, more actiony shit. But all points converge on Cloud City. And then Jedi opens with all of them working together, to save Han from Jim Henson's nightmare.
Yeah.
Which I fucking love. And they all kind of together go off to go do the Endor thing.
They choke a slug. They slice some dudes up. Yeah.
And then they all work together. They're all going out to Endor. They get split up, or Luke decides to split up. So then they had that three-way split up, and then all flawlessly work together to all do the one unanimous thing, which is, Han's trying to break the shield. Lando's gonna then blow up the Death Star, and Luke's gonna fucking try to convert Vader, but and ends up getting fried.
Yeah.
But he does work. So all points converge. This movie is just they're all split up, and they almost never fucking interact with each other.
Yeah. No, they don't.
Because your main three leads, again, like Rey and Poe, never fucking meet till the end of this movie. Finn and Rey kind of in and out in The Force Awakens, and then they're completely separate in this movie. So again, it's like, here's our three leads who never fucking speak to each other.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you making Star Wars or Magnolia here? Just...
I think the characters themselves can't hold the story together.
I agree.
Yeah, they need something.
And it's not the actor's fault.
No,
it's the way it's the way the characters don't have this camaraderie.
Yeah,
like, you don't care about them and really their plight very much. You care more about Luke and Han Solo.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you know their history.
And the way they build off each other and the way they equip off each other, and then helps you kind of really just make them human and you feel for them a little bit more.
And again, I liked the humor in the film. It's a little. I really forced in some parts.
Yeah.
Well, some moments work, some moments don't. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as the humor goes, but
all I gotta, I just have to say.
Let me put it this way: like a great line of dialogue, a good use of humor that wasn't super forced in Return of the Jedi. Is there's a moment when they're on the skiff going to the Sarlacc pit, and Han's sitting there, he's like, I think my eyesight is getting better. Instead of a big dark blur, I see a big light blur. And Luke's just like, just stay close to Chewie. I got this under or he's, I used to live here, and Han goes, you're gonna die here, convenient.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, just stick close to Chewie. And he's like, oh, great, because he kind of doesn't he's super cynical, doesn't believe. It's a great little moment of humor between the characters, And then Han going down that. Slimy piece of worm-ridden filth. Such pleasure from us, right, Chewie? Kind of thing. Like, I like that moment. You don't have those fucking camaraderie moments between any of the characters, really.
The only camaraderie moment that was in the movie was that when Rey was explaining to Luke, her backstory, who she was, and said, I'm some funky ass planet.
Yeah, Jakku.
And he's like, what are you from that could be so lowly and desperate?
Yeah, it's like nowhere. There's no place.
She's like, I'm from no place.
No one's from nowhere.
No one's from nowhere. Jakku. Oh, that's nowhere. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's in reference in movie. That moments like that were okay.
Yeah.
So the thing is, everything boils down to a big climactic moment. Snoke is dead. We have no idea who he is. There was one other thing that's building up that isn't paid off. That, oh my god, it was just in my head. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
That just leave me, by the end of the movie, I was so unsatisfied.
Well, there's a whole, they literally repeat Empire with salt instead of snow.
Yeah.
The moment where Snoke literally tells them, okay, now look in this window, and you can see all them being shot. Yes, that's what's gonna happen. And they literally did that with Luke and the Emperor. They literally fucking did it. And I'm like, what is happening?
There's lines in dialogue that Snoke's saying. I'm like, they're straight up repeating.
But it's so funny. But this time it was different because he wasn't trying to recruit her.
Yeah.
You're right. Oh, okay.
I'm not
I get it. Yeah, but it's
the situation.
The situation.
Here's the throne room.
Yeah.
I have Darth Vader with me.
Yeah.
I am the Emperor. There's some red dickheads.
Yeah.
And
they were useless.
No, they put up a good fight.
They did some really cool
The
fight.
Soul Calibur fight was pretty cool.
The Soul Calibur
It was like one of the best moments of the film.
Great.
Were they Jedi or were they just random jobbers?
They're just royal guards.
Royal guards. Sure.
They held it down because fucking
they were really
they held
cool.
it down.
I
got a Star Wars-y ass Star Wars moment when Rey shows up.
They were in trouble.
Rey and Chewie show up with the Millennium Falcon and then lead them down the cool ass trench mine caverns. I'm like, this is sick as fuck.
Right. Yeah.
This is really cool.
Really cool. They couldn't hold their own against a Jedi who had no fucking training. She still has no training. She's able to kick the shit out of all these guys. The person who actually had the most trouble was the guy who had training from Snoke.
And ultimately, it was leading up to this moment where Luke is going to face Kylo. And there's this really awesome build-up scene where Luke is facing all the Imperial walkers and all this shit, and I'm just oh my god,
Phenomenal.
like, are we gonna get this, like, do we get to see
Epic
do we get to see Luke power levels type shit?
Yes.
I thought that I almost
Yes.
like, and I hate power level shit, but I was honestly waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to see Luke do some bad
like,
shit. I want to
crush
see all the
all of
shit
the
that he
Ewoks.
knew as he was
Let's
getting
see
older.
how powerful he's
And he has like, yeah, and we already get a feeling of it when you see him up on the mountain and he's like putting the shit on, and you're like, this is gonna, he's gonna fuck some shit up. This is gonna be cool.
It was so good. It was a great scene.
And it does lead to a cool moment where they all blast him because he's not really there, and he does the brush off the shoulder. I'm like, okay, this is cute. And then he goes to face him, and he just doesn't fight him. And ultimately, the conflict is just like not really a conflict.
Yeah.
It's just a moment, and Luke doesn't ever get to do anything really cool.
I think that was a great part about it.
Where he says, like, see you around, kid.
Yeah, and I loved it. And like, see you around, kid. I'm like, Luke's gonna go learn some big shit, and they're gonna actually fight. They're gonna fuck him up, and I'm like, this is sick.
Because that was cool. He's like, yeah, motherfucker, I just did this. Imagine when I see you in person. Then I'm gonna really fuck you up. And I was like, damn, it's gonna be crazy. This is gonna be cool.
The next movie's gonna be so dope. And then the movie falls the fuck apart. And then it goes back, you see it's an astral projection of him. I'm like, whoa, that's super sick.
Right.
And he looks into the sun, I got you, kid. And everyone's looking into the same sun, and you're like, yes, we're separated, but we're together. We did this shit together. And then Luke fucking disappears out of goddamn nowhere. Like a wide shot, like I didn't even get
looking at twin suns.
I literally did not even get the impression, like he was like, that took a lot out of me, but I'm coming back. I didn't get the impression that he is in pain or anything.
He's dying or whatever.
And then it's explained later, like, Luke just willingly sacrificed himself.
I think the projection was too much, and it's just like he just.
I get that. I get that, but that struggle really wasn't conveyed.
He falls off the rock and he gets back. And he's all sweaty and shit. He's like, he's all huffing and puffing.
We get the point of why he disappeared, but it's why the fuck did that. Was that the thing that kills Luke fucking Skywalker? You know,
he has
like why is that
death
thing?
where he just accepts his
but
death.
maybe like I guess
he shouldn't have died from that. He shouldn't.
Yeah, that ultimately
it's irrelevant.
Unless it like pays off in the next film where they show the power of Force Ghost.
I get it.
And they show what the fuck they can do.
I felt it would have been more climactic, or I felt it would have been more impactful if he had actually been struck down the way that Obi-Wan Kenobi did. And
well, that's what everybody thought.
Have your cake and eat them.
Well, they did have the cake, and we're gonna eat it because we're gonna flip you on it because they literally did that moment.
Right.
So also, like, what really bugged me was Luke's death. Technically, is just glossed. It just happens.
Yeah.
It is not a big, impactful moment.
Not at all.
He's separated. He's not with everybody, and I get it. He's going to become a Force ghost and walk around and say some shit now.
Right.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's like you just killed Luke Skywalker, and I was just like, what?
Right.
I really didn't feel anything. Like, I was feeling moments earlier, like, man, when fucking R2 spat out the thing to convince him to go back, he spat the first.
Right.
Message. Leia sent to him, he's like, I'm feeling this, man. This is pretty good. And there's like. There's some legitimate feeling moments, but when Luke died, I didn't feel shit. I was just confused.
Wait, what? Yep.
I was like, what?
No, in that moment with Yoda, and he's like, still you are. And like, he's still that boy. And like, oh man, I got the feels again because they're having this moment. And he's like, oh man, you're still that same little Luke.
And even Luke going out alone to face all the dickheads. This was great.
Disappointed. I was disappointed at how unwise Luke was at that point because he wasn't wise. He still needed the guidance of Yoda. He wasn't using the guidance of Yoda to try to figure out what's going on with Ren, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was unsure and he he was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to. Why wasn't he wise enough to understand that? Like how much of his travels got him to that point? Because all of his training leads him up to be this wise, all-knowing, Jedi.
Well, at least he was on that trajectory.
No, but
at least he was towards the end. Yes, at the end.
The end of Jedi, you kind of felt okay. He's gonna become.
But no Jedi Master just abandons the Jedi Force.
He did.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why would somebody, who's supposed to be that wise, use such abandon something like that, which is really unwise for a Jedi?
And that leads to ultimately the point why Luke is in this mopey phase, just doesn't really fit with the character.
Right. It doesn't fit the character of Luke at all.
It kind of is just a little weird, even though I think that it's handled well. I think like his whole situation that he's in is handled well, and Mark does a great job at still being Luke, but being so trodden and fucked up by the fact that he screwed over his sisters and his best friend's kid.
Yeah, yeah.
And I get it. I get his situation. However, it never goes anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't, like, and even the conflict with Ren. See you around, kid. And then he disappears and dies.
See, like, I agree with you all about him being a little bit too mopey, and that didn't make sense for, like, Luke's character arc at the end of Jedi.
Yeah.
But there's two things I think that are important in this movie. One, Rey calls out that he's completely shut himself off from the Force.
Yeah.
He's not actively using it anymore. He's, like, away from it.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, you mentioned a little bit right there, Max, that like he feels bad about what we did to like Han and Leia's kids. I think he went into isolation not necessarily because he was mopey. It was a little bit because he did fail, and that's why he shut off from Force. I think he knew the only solution was, at that point, he had to kill Kylo. If he re-embraced the Force and went back out there was no turning Kylo. It was like, I'm going to have to kill this guy, and I'm going to kill Leia's son, Leia and Han's son. And he's like, I can't do that. I think that was too much for him to do. And the see it again kid, I think at that point he was resolved. He's like, the only way I can reach him without destroying him is basically doing what Ben did to me. Like, at the point, I'm not going to turn into a Force Ghost right in front of him, but like, I'm going to show him that all his rage, all his hate and stuff, and he still can't beat me. And then I'm going to go Force Ghost mode because that's how I'm going to be able to like communicate with him, because me confronting him and fighting him is exactly what Kylo wanted. That's all he's been looking for, is this final showdown with Luke to beat him and be like, that would
Luke
that
is
would
taking
Luke
takes the smart way out.
That would cement his completion to the dark side for Kylo.
Absolutely.
That's my interpretation. So
and my biggest part is that those moments are not celebrated in the movie.
No, not at all.
Like he just disappears.
Yeah.
And then it cuts right to a scene of everyone like, we're fine. It's like, Luke Skywalker just died, like without any warning. Like there was no warning to him dying. It was like, man, that thing took a lot out of him, and all of a sudden I'm just gonna sit up here and then disappear.
You know what's funny?
What?
that was a little awkward how it happened.
I was like legit like, did he really just die?
I mean, they did that to us in the first Star Wars, though. You know, with Darth Vader, and it's like, oh, there's Obi-Wan.
Well, Obi-Wan willingly is in a fight with him
Yeah.
and sacrifices himself to become
Stops
more
fighting,
powerful.
does this.
He has this noble moment and he stops fighting.
Yeah.
Like, Luke does this projection thing,
Yeah.
doesn't give Kylo what he wants, and then just dies.
Yeah.
Like
this has a huge
there's a little bit
difference,
better build-up because he's like, you can't win. If you strike me down, I become more
Be more
powerful.
powerful.
And then
He's
right
like
after,
looking at Luke, and he smiles and goes like this.
yeah, and Luke sees him die and shit,
Yeah.
and then it's implied that Kylo knows that Luke died because the weird balls thing.
The dice, Han's dice.
So
disappears.
fucking confused. when
Yeah.
that
Yeah, I
happened.
was confused
The
with
ball
that
dice
too.
was really
I
awesome.
was like, so did he manifest ball dice?
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
all I'm saying is, what
I
the
got
fuck?
confused too.
Yeah.
Like, they ended the movie, like, the big hint that he's dead with manifested ball dice disappearing? What the fuck? Now I'm pissed. Like, and I'm really thinking the moments in the end, this is the big critical moment that Luke Skywalker's just died. The dude just vanished, ball dice disappeared. For some reason, that's important to Kylo. And then...
Because it was his father's dice.
Did we ever see that shit in the original trilogy?
no.
Did I barely put it together that that's Han Solo stuff? Yeah, I
You
guess.
see Chewie's head
Head
bump into
bump,
it
yeah,
in
he
New
picked it up.
Hope. It's
Yeah.
very, and it's
I
actually
never
funny
seen that.
because it's normal dice.
Yeah,
It's
barely
normal
there.
white and black
Yeah,
dice,
yes.
like just traditional ass
Wow.
dice.
So that being a big critical thing
Yeah.
didn't resonate at all. And then it just goes right to the end where they have like everyone's happy, but we're not really big, but we have hope. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to credits.
And then
I
here's
was like, oh my god.
yeah, and then like
no.
we're the
We're
spark
actually
that will
done.
ignite the flame of the new rebellion or whatever.
keep saying that
And
so
then-
many times.
yeah,
in the
they
movie.
did.
It got so annoying.
And then it's when
eventually.
we were talking about it afterwards. I'm like, I think I know how they're gonna get out of not having Carrie Fisher at 9.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you see that little kid recounting the stories of Luke, and then he gets yelled at by his slave owner, and he goes out and he force grabs a broom.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. First I was just like, oh god. Further cementing Disney will make Star Wars movies until long after we're all dead.
Yeah,
That scene
so-
felt
But,
so forced.
But I think it is because they're out now. They're gonna time skip 9.
Really?
That little
I
kid
think so,
will be
right?
the main character of 9 because they're going to time skip till when he's an adult
And
and he
Pierce
gets
Schiller
found by
on
Finn or Poe.
Yeah.
Princess Leia will have passed away,
Right.
in her sleep peacefully.
Yeah.
gracefully
the books.
off screen.
She has the scrolls of the Jedi.
Right.
Remember,
She forced ghosts as well.
She, you know.
Dude,
And then that's how they're going to do it. They'll time skip it, and this kid will be the lead into 10, 11, 12.
So,
like so, like
that could be a thing.
so earlier in the movie,
But I almost hate it.
Heard it here first.
I almost hate it now because it feels like, okay, we have this forced implementation of like, we're going to continue making Star Wars movies forever.
Yeah, they already said they would.
We're Disney.
So
Well,
you
of course, they gotta get
you
the money
see the
back.
kids before. You don't get any implication of them being special. It's just
Yeah.
the Asian girl relating with the fact that was her with her sister when they were young.
right.
That's cool. And then it goes after like what was seeming to be the credits, and you're like, did they just fucking kill Luke?
Well, that's the
Like-
same thing with fucking Ren. Like, she's nobody, yet she has all these powers.
Oh yeah.
There you
I'm
go.
sorry. That's the
that was
biggest
Second
moment.
biggest red
Yeah.
herring, and like that last scene as well.
Yeah.
I felt was like some kind of last desperate attempt to explain anyone can
Anyone
be a
can
force
get it.
user.
Anyone,
It's
yeah.
okay that Rey's parent lineage was not
nobody.
special, or
Yeah.
wasn't Obi-Wan Kenobi, wasn't Luke,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
nobody. It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
Now, here's my big
Yeah.
thing that this also didn't pay off. Why was there such a big connection between the two? I guess
Oh,
we're
it
gonna
was
say
Snoke.
So there
It was
wasn't.
Snoke.
It
Oh,
was
Snoke,
Snoke
yeah.
was literally like, I did that shit, you
Yeah.
fucking idiots.
Oh,
He
so
literally
it
was like that.
okay.
They
Like,
still,
I'm a
they
Jew.
It was
still
so
had,
it happened so fast, so much in the movie. I barely man now. Oh, okay, I did say that.
they
I was
still
making you-
had a slight connection afterwards, but it wasn't as impactful as it was when they were
Yeah, it
able
was
to
when
actually
she was.
physically
It
see
was when
each
she was
other.
leaving the ship.
Yeah,
Like, her
yeah.
closing the door, and
Yeah,
it was like,
And I
oh my
actually
God,
thought that
like,
I actually
well,
thought
we're done.
that
Yeah.
whole gimmick of them being connected to. I thought that was actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm like, this,
I thought
this
it
is
was
a good
cool,
way
and
to
it
keep
was
the
Snoke.
conflict of these characters,
Yeah.
and I'll set up for some interesting
Well,
moments.
Snoke, once again, Snoke has a lot of power, but yet he still couldn't see that Kylo was able to betray him at the end of
Yeah.
it. Yet he's so powerful to see into him and Ren at the point where he was able to control how they connect to each other. But you can't see him trying to betray you in the middle of the sea. How powerful is this kid to get past your power when you were able to control him with Ren?
Sure, but
I'm
even
just-
the Emperor didn't see Vader picking him up and chucking him off a fucking bridge.
I'm
Well,
just
Vader's more
hoping-
powerful than the Emperor.
Yeah.
Vader was more powerful than the Emperor at the end of
they're
it.
implying
I'm
that.
hoping
Yeah,
there's
they're
more
implying
to it in the next movie that'll explain that. Like that was part of Snoke.
Dude,
Snoke's
as soon
trick.
as Snoke
He's
was
like-
dead, I'm like, nothing's getting
No.
explained.
It probably isn't, but
Yeah, it's gonna
it's probably like
explain.
to complete Kylo's training, he's got to kill me or think he
Yeah.
killed me.
Okay,
That's
but
how
then,
evil
but
he is.
Ray said, he's like, hey, I see you standing up against Snoke,
Yeah.
and like I'm with you or something like that. But then like Ren is like, oh, I see you turning.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe
It was
something towards the
a
end.
little quirky thing that I
don't
thought
know.
about Snoke.
But
since
for a
that one
second though, I was like, oh shit.
Another thing that is like built up from the previous movie all the way to this movie, and they just throw it away, is once again the goddamn parents of Rey. Or, is their name? Yeah, the
Yeah.
parents of Rey, where they actually mention it like 3 big times in the movie.
Yes.
That's what she's looking
And then,
for.
That's what and then
looking
Kylo's
for.
just, they're just a bunch of drunk debtors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They just sold you off
they
for
just
money.
sold you off for
He's like,
booze.
you already know. You already know.
Yeah.
He's telling her, you already
Yeah.
know what your parents are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, you're related? Like, your parents were actually...
Yeah, like, are you two
Han and
related?
Leia?
Yeah,
You're
like,
actually Luke.
Yeah, everyone's
You're
Some-
actually Luke's kid?
it's-
I was like, kind of like,
Yeah.
you're
you're what? No, and he's
It was
like,
a built to nothing. It
You're
was a
just,
built
you're
to
just,
nothing.
you're just a kid of some assholes.
Yeah,
yeah, you're just a kid of some assholes.
Hey.
And then it doesn't really change. That information doesn't change Rey.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that he literally says the character development, you already know.
Yeah.
So it's like, that. Well, this information doesn't change our main character.
Well,
then.
I guess Rey has accepted that she came from nothing. What will become greatness? I guess.
Did she?
I don't know.
No, she didn't in the movie.
Who knows? Maybe also in the next film they'll be like, "Oh, actually, they were just your adoptive parents. You were left on the doorstep by
Right,
your real
right.
parents, and then your adoptive parents like sold you off. They're like the parents in
Oh,
Harry
yeah.
Potter.
They're real Jedi.
They're real mean to you. and
Yeah,
stuff.
they're the real Jedi. How did the
Yeah,
background and
Obi-Wan
stuff like that.
Jr. left you here.
I don't know why it's bothering me so much, but I was actually disappointed in the size of Snoke. For some reason, I felt that he was this giant freaking
Yeah,
like
you know,
alien.
he's-
stuff like that.
Well, yeah, they did that with the hologram.
Yeah.
But
And
Snoke
even-
is literally just like a skinny old butthead in a gold robe.
And even then, the background of Snoke, why not delve into that just a tad bit? Just a little
Nothing.
bit. There is literally...
What's wrong with your face?
Right? That's really
What's
cool.
wrong with your face?
Oh, shit.
How's all that shit happening?
How did you become the most most powerful fucking Sith? How did you become the most powerful Sith?
Jedi, or whatever. We
Out
don't
of
know.
nowhere.
We don't know.
Sorry, Darth.
What?
No, Darth Plagueis.
Darth Maya.
Plagueis. Yeah, I'm sorry. I said Sidious. I meant Darth Plagueis.
Give us something.
That
I
would
was
know
almost-
something.
The line Snoke was using were so on the nose, the Emperor. I almost thought they were gonna pull that bullshit with like he's the Emperor.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
right,
it's like,
yeah.
He's the Emperor. He survived Jedi somehow.
yeah.
And I was like, are we really gonna do this? Is Snoke really Palpatine? No, come on, done. No.
At least I would have gotten some closure about the character.
Sure.
At least then I would have gotten something, and that would have explained where the money came from too. You know what I mean? Because he's still the Emperor, and there's a lot of people who still follow the Emperor. But he's this new guy that people just all of a sudden decided to follow. I don't understand.
Yeah, where do you get all this money? Like that.
It's not even the money.
Back
It's
down
just-
to that reason. Like
You have to understand that this character has a lot of respect because you got all these people who are part of the Empire or the.
he choked literally tens of thousands of people.
You're constantly
I
choking.
can do this.
I'm
Oh,
a
shit.
powerful fucking Emperor.
All right, next I can do this. Oh shit!
Shit,
All
we
right,
gotta
next I can
respect
do this.
We gotta respect this guy.
This is actually my entire problem with the new trilogy.
Here we go.
Here in a nutshell, is that they didn't do anything interesting. They are more or less just redoing what already
It's been
happened.
done. Yeah.
Why couldn't we have gone in a completely different direction from
Because
the
it's Star
beginning
Wars.
and say, well, because here's the thing, the prequels were very different from the first movies, and they were terrible. So it's like Disney's too fucking scared to make a really different plot line.
Yeah,
But it's like, okay, I
think,
really feel like we could have gone a whole different direction with this. We could have gone with the Yuzan Vong
The Dark
idea.
Empire route.
Or the Dark Empire route, or something like that, where like maybe there was, like what I was, kind of telling you, Mike, was like something like maybe they could have had the idea with the, I think it's pronounced Yuzan Vong, where it's this race, it's a super race, huge armada, like galaxy-spanning armada. And Palpatine was building up the Empire because he knew an even bigger force was going to eventually come into their galaxy, and he also knew that force was also immune to force powers.
Yeah.
So it's like it kind of made this thing where it's like, well, yes, you defeated the Empire, but like they were literally trying to build them up so they could stand a chance. That's why he was making planet destroyers. So because there was this crazy other thing. Because like again, even
cool.
one galaxy in the universe is like minuscule.
Yeah, it's
because there's like untold trillions of galaxies within the universe, right?
A number you can't fathom. Yes.
Right. So they could have gone that route.
Right.
Like something completely different. But it's just. Nope. Either here's a Sith guy and he's old and he's creepy and he uses Force lightning.
Okay,
and he has an empire and he wants to blow up planets.
Disney is playing the safest route they could possibly go, and you can see that with the fucking forced plushy doll characters that are in the thing with the fucking big, the seal, the tiny little, they're literally fucking baby seals. They're fucking baby seals with fur, and they're being forced all over the place with their sad eyes and all that stuff like that. It's just toys. It's just toys.
Yeah.
And you can see them playing it safe. They're like, look, we're going to sell these toys. We're going to go with the same arc story. We're going to make people happy by giving them the nostalgia
At least they put the ice foxes into the story somehow. Where the ice foxes.
Oh,
shit, we had to get that fuck out of here.
Actually, they do serve an important point. Because Luke wasn't really there. So, like, how did Luke get in here?
Right.
He really didn't get in there. He astral projected.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for the ice foxes actually showing them where the exit was, they would have been like, oh, wait, Luke just projected himself in here. We are so screwed.
And then Rey's big force thing that she gets to show off in the end is her moving a bunch of rocks.
Yeah, you know what's funny to me is that the
and they make a joke about it. Even.
The character, like Poe, it magically deducted, he's buying us time. He's buying us time.
Yeah.
So, there is another way out. Maybe we should follow the action. Luke never told them anything.
Yeah.
He just went off and did his own thing.
That
he
was supposed to be like Poe's moment of like he learned his lesson from Leia.
Yeah.
He's like thinking like a leader now, and like about everyone else's well-being.
He never told you anything.
No.
Luke just went out there to stop like the kid.
There should have been a moment where someone was just like, there's the moment where everyone's looking at this guy and no one ever says, is that fucking Luke Skywalker? Which everybody knows. There's never a moment like that. There should have been a part where Poe is like, Luke Skywalker? And then Luke would say something to him, and Luke says, get
him out of here. Get him out of here.
I need all of you to get the hell out of here.
That would have been great.
But what about you? And then he just walks out.
Yeah, that would have been
this badass moment like that.
Good stuff.
But no, he just walks there and was like, Fuck is this guy?
Hey, no, but you know what? But here's the thing: Star Wars never does anything new. If you play a lot of the Star Wars games and the Old Republic and all those other fucking things, it's all the same fucking formula. Knights of the Old Republic, it's the same. Snarky robots, the smuggler, this is the thing. You see those badass. Old Republic trailers and all that shit.
Those are way cool.
Those are cool, but it's the same thing. They have the smuggler. I have the fastest ship. I'm the smuggler. Han Solo, Dash Rendar, the guy with the guns, and and here's it's all the same fucking thing. So even in all those expanded universes, it is still the boiling thing. And although they were doing something cool with the Gray Jedi, I would like to see that. But that's fucking neither here nor there.
There's
it's the same fucking thing.
I feel like there's a lot of things they could have done starting from the beginning of 7. Going into this whole thing, that it just could have felt like, well, we could have done something a little bit more.
I wanted to see something fucking different.
I am still pissy and salty that the original cast never fucking meet again ever. Like the most, we see Han and Leia meet up for a little bit, and then we see Luke and Leia meet up in this movie for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm still kind of just salty about the fact that I'm like, really, like these like best friends, family. And they just kind of like cameo see. They cameo see each other at one point in each movie before they go off and fucking die.
So here's the thing. It's like there was a moment
in
the
Lando,
end
fuck that.
when Luke was like looking into the sunset and you saw a dot. Yeah. I thought it was the ships being sent to blow up.
Right. I saw
for a split second. I saw
a second. Yeah.
And
it looked like a dot.
Once again, another thing that was just like thrown away. Luke's ship. In the fucking water, you're totally expecting him to show up in the ship or
check off ship right there.
Yeah, you're totally expecting him like you saw the ship in the water, and he's gonna show up in the fucking X-wing and fuck shit up or something like that. No, he never leaves the island.
I was thinking that too, and I was thinking,
I mean, that's how he got there.
We get it.
I get it.
But who cares? If you're not gonna go anywhere with the ship, why show a shot of the ship?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with showing him drinking fucking tit milk. Why show that? It has nothing to do with the story.
Why show
it's awkward.
Why show this crazy dank hole that doesn't actually do anything?
Right? Why show this?
Why is that the dark? Like what? That thing was the dark side. According to Luke, and you went right into it, and all it was a realization that she is just herself.
Because again,
it wasn't the dark side. What the fuck?
They wanted to have their Empire cave moment, just like they wanted to have their Jedi throne room moment, just like they wanted to have their Empire Hoth battle scene, almost shot for shot with the trenches and the guys lined up and the AT-AT walkers. Like they wanted to have these shot for shot recreations. It's like poetry.
I like it. I like it that the AT-ATs didn't do anything. Like all they were there was to shoot the shit out of Luke for that one moment, but they just walk around.
Poe did. Oh, the AT-ATs. Okay, no,
the big. I thought
you were talking about the jet fighter.
They're there literally just so that evil Nazi guy and Ren can just sit there and shoot Luke for a moment.
Right. I like how that guy tried to chew too much fat right there. He tried to bite more than he could chew. He's like, I'm the leader now. I'm the leader. He's like, motherfucker, please. Yeah. I have powers. What are you going to do to me? Do you feel in charge?
Yeah.
Do you feel in charge?
There is good character moments. There is good character moments, but the most...
As hokey as that character was, he is actually... the guy opposed to Hux, that's his name? Yeah. I actually kind of liked him at the end of it. He was just so fucking hilarious.
Are we seriously going to go into episode 9
without Vader and, without Han and without Luke now? Or Luke is going to be a Force Ghost to show up every once in a while.
Not without Leia either. Leia's gone.
And without Leia.
Yeah. We're going to seriously go in episode 9 as with Kylo Ren as the main villain, leading
which is
the First Order, and Hux being like his snarky bitch.
That's gonna be a problem.
Like his Starscream.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying.
Literally, he was Starscream.
I honestly feel like there's something behind Snoke that they're not telling us, and I think
he's dead, Steve. That's done.
I don't want to hear it.
You have all these questions, and me and Simmons had all these questions in 2015 when the movie came out,
right?
And then we were expecting them to be answered in this movie.
This one, yes.
But guess what? He died, so who gives a shit?
We spent 2 movies and 4 hours.
Yeah.
and got nothing.
Something is behind
and
it.
it's
I
nothing
just know
now.
it.
It's nothing
No,
now.
no,
It is
I
Kylo Ren.
believe
He's
there's
Supreme
something
Leader.
more.
2 more years, you'll get your answer.
There's something
you
more.
won't.
I
No,
know
I
there
don't
is.
know what,
You're
and we
not-
want that. We
You're
want
not
to know
gonna get
more
anything.
about the dark
This is
side.
Disney's plan.
No,
And
no.
there's
There's more behind it. Trust me.
Did they
I know these
eventually,
things.
like, who was the character that died in 1 or 2 or some shit?
Episode 1?
In the classic Star Wars movies.
Fucking the guy with the twin blade. Fucking
No, not Darth Maul.
No.
Not
Talking about the
Wait,
original.
original trilogy.
Are you talking
Yeah,
in reference to
yeah,
what?
I was gonna say, like did they
Grand
explain?
Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, did they explain Tarkin's motivations in the first Star Wars movie?
No.
Before
but-
he became, did they explain why Boba Fett was Boba Fett? No, they're dead. There's no reason anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Grand Moff Tarkin, who's holding Vader's leash in A New Hope, and we're never really never explained what a Grand Moff is, how he's holding Vader's leash, how he has command over him.
In the first Star Wars movie.
Right, the first Star Wars movie,
because he
right.
blows the fuck up and he's gone.
Yeah.
That's it. He fucking dead.
Once they're dead, there's no reason.
All
to
the
revisit it.
admirals fucking Vader chokes to death in Empire. It's like
Well, we didn't need him anyway. So
We're
fuck it.
done.
Yeah,
We're not gonna
But
get
Grand
in.
Moff was that old
Darth
man?
Maul had like
Grand Moff Tarkin
like,
was
no
Peter
lines.
Cushing,
Yeah,
yeah.
cut in
Okay.
half.
You didn't need to. He was
Same
fucking
thing.
badass. He had
God
a twin
damn
blade
it.
sword and he sliced shit up.
Some really good moments in this film, but overall for me was an exercise in frustration.
Yeah.
And a lot of parts where you're eventually
Good
hoping
film.
that it's going to lead up to something cool, and it doesn't. It doesn't lead up to anything satisfying or cool. And in the end, I really feel that they literally blew the death of Luke
But in the end,
Skywalker.
it doesn't even matter.
Dude, I feel like the death of Luke in this movie is the equivalent of the death of Superman in Batman vs Superman. I really feel like they just did that.
Wow.
They just do that?
Yeah.
Like I was not getting the feeling. I thought Luke was gonna die like doing something like super noble or something like that.
Right.
He astral projections himself and then disappears. I'm like, I felt nothing.
Here's the main problem. You for us.
I think even Han Solo was more
watching
impactful.
Empire.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, watching Empire, it was like, because we weren't really, conscious enough to be there, and maybe some of you were.
When you find out when,
But it's like when Empire ends, you're like, you really want to fucking see the next movie. So growing up, it's like you get to the end of Empire.
yeah,
and
there
like,
you go.
It's like you get to the end of Empire Strikes Back. Lando and Chewie, we're gonna find that bounty hunter, and Luke's getting his arm repaired, and they look out as Lando flies.
there's a
off
big
and you're like-
motivation
You're
for
like,
the next movie.
put in Jedi now.
Yeah.
Put in Return of the Jedi right
Fucking movie
now.
right now.
I want to see this fucking I want to see this
Big lizard get choked out.
Yeah, I want to see this shit get concluded
There
right
is
now.
zero motivation / satisfaction or hope for the next movie. Like there was at least the whole questions you had that wanted to be answered from the first film. There was the whole thing like, oh, she found Luke and Luke is gonna get his lightsaber.
Yeah,
what is this gonna lead to? There was a bunch of build up and hype. There is zero motivation for the non-existent Rebel Alliance, and now not Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess
'Cause they're
rebels
so
are gonna,
far fucked.
fly off somewhere,
And then Kylo's gonna be a dickhead and
Kylo's
put
gonna
some
be a dickhead, and I
put
guess-
some crown on or
like,
some
how did-
shit.
I guess we'll go
Rebel
because
Alliance.
it's like a reset. It's
How
like
did-
we're gonna fly
How
off.
did the Empire.
27 rebels survived and Princess Leia. Let's go.
Yeah.
Where do we go from there?
We're gonna
We got everything
27.
we need here.
We're gonna
Everything
fly
you
off.
need here.
One Jedi.
Reestablish, go back, reset. Gotta get, Kylo's gonna do something dickish. Go
and then
fight
tease
Kylo.
some weird thing with a kid being a Force user as well, which I was like, what?
I mean, I think if I could see the smart play being along with like Simmons talked about like a time skip idea.
Right.
I think they need to do something
There
about
needs to be a time
rebuilding,
skip.
but it needs to be maybe Rey trying to track down Force users because Luke passed on quote unquote the knowledge. He said like I'm not going to be the last Jedi. Rey's going to take the mantle, going to carry on the Jedi.
Right.
It might be just like a thing where she's trying to find Force users, whereas Kylo is trying to track them down and kill them all. He's like, I don't know, I'm like the supreme person and stuff. No one else, I'm gonna find Rey and
really
kill her.
reminds me
Blah,
of
blah.
episode 1 of Phantom
It's not a
Menace.
great idea. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
If it's that premise, that is literally episode 1 of Phantom Menace.
Pretty much. Can we talk about one quick thing? Sorry to derail.
No.
Luke's final words to C-3PO.
What did he say?
Nothing. He just like looks
Winked.
at him. He's just like
He winked
"Whoa."
at him.
Yeah, he winks at him, and it was
Yeah, he
almost like, eh.
Yeah.
This shitty robot.
And he raised them, like he built the fucking character, and he was with them.
Anakin built them, but like he cleaned.
Yeah.
But Luke was the one that
I'm sorry. Yeah, not him. Anakin
got the robot parts and put them back together.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So he has a bond with those characters.
Well, he gave him an oil bath.
It was very important.
But 3PO saved them from the trash compactor.
Yeah.
3PO!
Yeah.
Where can he be?
The bottom line is that he does have a connection with those
Because
that must have been a powerful astral projection if a robot can see him.
Yeah. His scene with R2 was really good.
And that's why it eventually killed him.
Yeah.
Luke
literally, it took so much power.
I'm not like chomping at the bit like, oh man, I cannot fucking wait for 9. I want to see 9 right now. Like, someone captured Finn or someone captured Poe.
That's what I was thinking.
One of the two is going to go after him and save his lover.
Oh, yeah. I thought, like, Finn and the Rose character.
I can't believe they didn't kill her.
Captured there.
I can't believe they didn't kill her. Like, they're literally relying on the Rose character not to be a critical character in Star Wars. Our critical characters are Finn, Poe, Rose, Chewie, and Rey. And
that's why I'm saying there's no new characters. Like, they gave this Codebreaker. I'm deuces.
What the?
I mean, he might come back.
Let's talk about the Codebreaker part, because I am a little confused.
Benicio just fucked right off that movie.
The Codebreaker wasn't supposed to be him. The Codebreaker was the fancy guy with the power.
The one who Maz Kanata sent them after was a completely different guy. They never met him.
So how does this Codebreaker even know who the fuck they are and how to portray them in that exact fucking moment? And what was he doing there if he could leave at any point in time?
How many times?
Why was he just setting it up?
How many times do people get like electrocuted and stunned in this movie?
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Like how many times like we have to like knock this person out to get him out of here?
It's a funny gag, guys.
But yeah, like the person they go after, they never actually.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. How does this guy know to be at the exact spot to lure them in so that he can portray them and make a ton of money?
No, it was just convenient.
No.
Really?
The weird thing with Benicio was just kind of like, what was he doing in that cell?
What was he doing in that cell?
That bugged me a lot.
If he could have always gotten out, why is he in there?
Exactly. If he had always was able to get out, why was he in there in the first place?
He sold his little red lapel thing to that person at the casino table so he can go undercover to meet them because he knew they were coming and stuff.
But you didn't.
Damn it! I can't do it.
That's never alluded at. Like,
no, it's not. I'm totally.
Oh god! Another thing that goes nowhere. Another thing that goes nowhere.
What?
They actually show the lapel guy with 2 chicks, and one of the chicks that's with him is like, "Oh my god, we know who they are.
Right? She
we
looks
better pay
funny.
attention." Goes nowhere.
Absolutely.
She was the one who told Benicio del Toro's character what was.
There you go. Perfect.
But that's not explained. If that even is the thing, I would have been okay with that.
And yeah, you see him look. You see him look. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'm fucking rolling dice.
Like once again, something that you think it's going somewhere, and no, don't worry about it. There's so much shit that you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Everything's fine with Benicio Toro. Just what is he doing in that cell? Because he comes out of the cell, he sees fucking BB-8 knock out all the guards, and he's just like, oh, shit, this guy's pretty cool.
Right.
He decides to join up with them. He makes the deal.
Goes out of his way to save these 2 people who he doesn't even know.
Right, and then when they get captured, he basically makes a fucking deal with the Empire because he heard them talking about what they were going to do.
Yeah, with the rebels and shit like that.
So he fucking snitched on them, but they established that he took a deal with the Empire after they got captured in that room, right? But again, what the fuck was he doing in that cell? I don't get it. Like,
and he could get out at any time. Why not? I guess it's
not important. Maybe he was waiting for the guards. Maybe he was just waiting for those guards to all sit down and play their little gambling game before he decided to make his escape.
Right.
Okay, sure, I get it. And it's really not important that why Benicio del Toro was in that cell to begin with, but it's just kind of like one of those weirdly convenient. It's not. It bugs me a little
convenience.
bit.
It's forced convenience.
And again, even Empire has forced conveniences that bug the shit out of me.
That's why that plot.
Yeah, Luke just landing on the fucking planet right next to Yoda.
And how far was he going to plan and go with this plan? Was he expecting to get captured, or was he actually?
Not even that. That's why this plot.
He used her medallion to break the thing because he was expecting her to actually break the fucking tractor beam.
Yeah.
She was supposed to stop the tractor beam, so he was actually doing something to help her get the tractor beam. So was he expecting to get captured and betray them, or was he actually expecting to stop the tractor beam?
You know what? The only thing
I don't think he cared either way. He just once he got captured, he's like, "Hey, I got info. I can."
That's why this plot was so stupid because we need this code cracker. Oh, you know what? We just magically found this other code cracker.
We'll take this guy.
We'll take this guy. That's why the plot was just dumb.
It was.
It was dumb and it was annoying.
The whole weird ass. We're gonna ride these boats.
This is the guy. Oh no, this is the guy. Luckily, in a planet
gonna ride
I guess
these goats
I
through the
guess the
casino.
problem the
Yeah,
problem
you
with that
gotta-
is that he convinced them that he was good enough to be able to do it.
Yeah, I get it, but that's like, and it would have made a lot more sense if he did just end up being a part of the Rebels, because the Rebels just a ragtag. This guy isn't the one we were looking for, but he's good enough type thing.
Right,
Like,
right,
and
yeah.
that would
I
have fit.
think
But he
that's
ends
what
up
it
being a
is,
shithead. So it's
Right.
like, what the fuck?
Yes.
So we're gonna
So
ride some
true.
goats through a casino.
Yeah, oh, they look like hairless tricos.
Yeah,
Yeah, they really did.
They ride all these hairless tricos.
They kind of
Hairless
scene was
like a llama,
and,
llama,
yeah,
like
and that was
llama.
yeah.
well, yeah, little hairless trico things, and I'm like, there's a little too much fucking CG going on here. Like,
Right, of course.
it started to
Yeah,
feel
it was-
real episode 2-ish.
Yeah.
You know what it was?
Casino
Here
playing,
it
I
is.
was like,
Instead of a bar,
No,
it's a fucking
that was the
casino,
pod
you know, like-
racing of
yeah,
this
yeah.
movie.
The pod,
Yeah.
This
like,
that whole
there's a lot
scene
of-
was the
a lot of
pod
CG.
fucking racing of
Like,
this
and-
movie.
I thought there were going to be pod racers actually when they panned down
Yeah,
at the racetrack.
yeah, yeah.
For a
Like,
second, I was like,
Unlike-
holy shit, they show pod
Dude.
racers. I'm out.
Dude, I like, no,
I'm done here.
No pod races for you.
Once again, it's like the scene is ultimately pointless, and like, why the fuck is it here? They're looking through the casino for this guy, and then suddenly Rose goes out and starts looking at all the goats and yaks and shit, and starts reminiscing with Finn.
Yeah.
Motherfucker,
Look at
they're
the
gonna
time.
die! Shut up, let's go!
You know
Like,
something funny? They were out there reminiscing while the fucking R2-3 thingy found the Rose guy.
yeah.
The fucking robot
Yeah,
was doing his
the
job.
robot was doing his job.
While those
And
fucking
I'm like-
assholes were out there looking at
serious,
it.
like,
And
it
you realize
bugs
the
me.
fucking ship is running out of fuel, dickhead.
Yeah, it's like, literally the thing is going down.
So why don't you talk about your fucking past, you stupid shit for brains?
Dude, it
the
bugged
fucking
me.
robot's doing its
Like,
job. Do your
the
job.
The movie is this literal race against time, and
Yeah.
now we have
Race against
this
time.
giant moment where we're gonna go into my character's backstory now. We're gonna slow the movie down,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna ride some fucking yaks for a while,
And we're going to bond while riding them.
and we're gonna
Yes.
bond while riding.
Yeah.
And oh shit, they blew up our ship.
Yeah.
Oh fucking great.
And their reaction is like, "Are you kidding me?" It's like, "What do you expect?"
Yeah, are you?
Like, they need
What do you mean? Are you kidding me? They're running out of fuel. Like.
I like how they gave up, like, when they released the llama. They just released the llama, and it's like, okay, well,
Yeah,
guess
we
we're-
failed. We had a good
Oh, you
run.
know
Hey, we
what's funny?
tried.
That guy was the real asshole Han Solo, I guess. It's like, hey, you have 18 hours to find this new Han Solo guy. Basically, that's what he was, It was-
Yeah, but it wasn't
Yeah.
even the target they were originally looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Again,
I
I wanted to really like his character, and I kind of did, but
I kind of did, yeah.
he just kind of shows up, does his thing, acts interesting, and then fucks right off and is gone.
Benicio shows up, does his best Jack Sparrow impression.
Yeah, he was very
Yeah.
Jack
He has, like,
Sparrow.
a weird
He was
stutter.
cool,
Yeah, it was a
but
stutter.
he didn't even have to have the stutter.
Yeah,
But
it
I
was a
guess
little
that was like,
stutter.
I'm gonna be a character actor. Or something.
Right, it was a character. It was a fucking character.
He would have been cool without it, but he had
You
a
know what?
stutter,
I didn't
and then it
even-
made him feel like Jack Sparrow.
I didn't even mind him, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually going to be some weird, cool, kooky character."
Right, and I thought he was gonna stay.
I was actually looking forward
Yeah,
to
to see where he
Benicio's
goes.
thief character being a
Yeah.
part of the squad.
Hell yeah.
I liked him.
And they literally fuck it.
Yeah.
We're gonna drop that. We're gonna drop Luke's death. We're just
We
gonna.
almost thought it was gonna be him in the fucking ship. Like, oh, he's redeeming himself. That was BB-8. BB-8.
Okay,
You
a
did
bit of
good.
a pointless scene when they're on his ship racing back.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy the moment where he's going through the ship and they're like, "Oh, this isn't your ship,
stole
is
the ship,
it?"
yeah.
And I stole the ship. And then he's going through and he's like, "Let's see who the owner was." Like, "Oh, arms dealer." And then he's like, "Yeah, like they sold to the bad guys." Like, "Oh," and then he
I
finds
think-
the X-wing. I'm like, I kind of like them.
I think he was the
He's
owner.
like-
I think he was the owner of the ship, and he was the one that is the arms dealer. That's literally what they were getting at.
I don't think so at all.
You don't think so?
Not at all.
I think it's just
But-
hinting that like
But I did
this
like,
war does not
Yeah.
have any specific.
But
good
I
guys and bad
like
guys.
I
Good guys
like
and
the
bad
moment
guys,
where he says,
right?
"You gotta understand. At the
He
end
was
of the
a
day,
nihilist.
at the end of the day, they're just all machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just selling machines to people."
Yeah.
And I kind of like that moment. It's like, okay, a little bit of a gray here, but like,
A gray,
why
yeah.
are you introducing this weird sort of gray to this universe?
Yeah.
When at the same time you're just the First Order, like Sieg Heil,
We are
motherfucker.
fucking Nazis.
You know, Sieg
Like,
Heil, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, this ragtag group of hopeful like people in like again, and then we go back to Sieg Heil, all these clean cut like SS uniform replica white dudes, and then like all the minorities on the Rebel Alliance are getting wiped out. And it's just kind of like, we're really
This
gonna
is-
do this? Like you can't
this is-
say there's gray, and then at the same time you have this
yeah.
This is
dark
why
black and
that-
white contrast.
This is why that fin part was a little weird to me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's
what
just
we're-
a little
what
weird
we're-
to me.
What we're trying to say is
Yeah.
that they're trying to appeal to all the audience.
You're right.
Yeah.
Hey, let's face it. Okay,
no.
Poe's the Indian guy, Rose is the Asian chick. You know, Finn is the black. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. They're trying to appease everybody. It's fine.
Now,
It's
you know,
fine.
now
it's
that
not
we
really
keep
a
thinking about
problem.
it,
Not at all. Not at all.
I'm just saying, like, why introduce the idea of a sort of morally gray thing?
There's no morally
universe
gray
when
Nazis.
you have like
No.
this
Yeah.
completely black and white, good versus evil struggle.
right,
Like,
right.
The dark side and the light side, for
And,
fuck's
well,
sake.
and the problem is that it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And again,
It was
yeah.
just
ultimately
a cheap
is
thing
just-
to try and do social commentary.
That's
That was
exactly
all
fucking
was,
it.
and it was
There's
not
so
well
many
done at all.
These
Social
moments,
commentary. Get everybody on your side.
these
sell toys.
moments that we're talking about feel directly corporate influenced. Where
Yeah.
it's like someone's like, we got to have this kind of thing.
Yeah.
We got to have this romance. We got to have this thing in the movie. And there's no consideration. Does it lead to anything? Does it lead to the fact that we need to have this commentary that the rich get richer and we're gonna plow it all down because the middle class needs to be represented? Like,
Right.
But it doesn't. There's no fucking reason for them to be there. And it literally, to me, feels like direct corporate influence. That we need to put these aspects into our Star Wars movie. I have never
These
felt
beats,
it more.
These little beats.
I have never felt it fucking
we
more
need these little
break that shit
beats
down.
in
in
there.
any
break that shit down
in any
here.
Marvel movie. Like, and if you wanna talk about a Marvel movie or Disney/Marvel movie that actually handles it well, of like, am I doing the right thing? And is this right thing what's good for what I'm supposed to do or good for everybody? Fucking Winter Soldier. Captain America Winter Soldier has like a great
Still not-
message.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember
great
that.
story, great
yeah.
message
Should watch it.
about
I know.
about like the character's motivation and like, I'm fighting for America, not
right.
your fucking America.
Right. He goes
Like,
against the government to
yeah,
actually.
he literally goes
to be-
against what
because
made
he
him.
knows what the country
Yeah.
stands for. And, you know,
Great fucking movie. Like,
I
and,
agree.
handles it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars never does that shit.
Well, yeah, but they try to. But
that's the
it's
thing,
just,
they
it's just
tried
kind of
to
like
in this
it's just kind of
movie.
like we had this little beat about like like rich people getting wealthy off of war. We have this little beat about morally gray shit in the war, and then we have this little beat of romance. And we'll
Little
have
beat
this,
of romance.
Yeah, we'll have this little beat of like rising up, like fucking Finn literally rising up against his asshole superior white chick officer and punching her in the face.
Right.
And it's kind of literally kind of like we'll have these great moments, these great beats.
Yeah.
These great beats.
Yeah.
But
they also
Insert part here.
Yeah, and
we need
and
this
then
part
again,
here.
we
super
we
hollow.
need something. We need something super cute. Porgs.
Those little
We need-
fucking guys
we
in
need
the
to have
cylinder.
porgs.
We need to sell these.
We
We
need to
gotta sell
them,
these.
okay?
This is
Like,
gonna be hot.
This movie's kind of
I
bleak.
didn't like those fucking
Like,
things.
No,
like,
not at all.
The movie's kind of bleak. We gotta have a little brevity. Have some forced humor in there. Have some
Yeah.
humorous beats in there. Put
Remember
some weird jokes in
Okay,
there.
okay. Now
Put some porgs
insert nostalgia porn. Okay, so we're gonna take this node back to Empire Strikes Back right here.
Yeah.
Okay, she's gonna look into the mirror. Oh, she's gonna see it, and the
Yeah,
Emperor's
just
gonna
like
tell us
Jedi.
something. Okay, just like Jedi. Insert here.
Right.
Put
Okay,
that
got the
beat
part-
in there.
Yeah. Okay, we got this part.
Can't-
Yeah.
Did it serve no?
Jam it in there. Who cares?
Okay, I
There's
guess
no
they just
story.
It
wanted
just
to
feels
torture her so
sloppily put
Luke
into.
can come by. But it was like that whole scene was meant to break Luke and turn him into the dark side and make
Yeah.
a new apprentice.
It did not really
this thing was not. It's like we just want
We
Luke.
still haven't
Yeah.
talked about how weird it was that they blasted Carrie into outer space and she froze and flew back.
Yep. Zombie carry.
And then she forced power.
Zombie-
Yeah.
zombie Leia.
Okay, that.
Zombie Leia.
I was like, holy shit.
That was
Okay.
a little awkward at first.
I was like, damn.
oh,
She
God.
did, okay, that makes sense. I guess that's why she's not gonna.
Like,
be
is this
the
how
next
we're
one.
writing her out?
Right, I thought she was
Writing
gonna
it out.
die.
Woof.
I thought she was gonna get rid of him really
That's
fast. I
gonna
was
be like, that's a rough way to get rid of her.
It was,
Yeah.
but then she but the whole I mean, I guess, yeah, I get it. They're showing that Leia has force power, but they did it in the weirdest way.
It looked
Yeah.
awkward as fuck with her
Yeah,
just going like,
like this. Yeah. It was very, very
like
awkward.
it's like,
Floating back.
oh, like
Yeah.
Oh
It
my
was zombie
God,
Leia.
damn.
It was literally
Fucking-
zombie Leia going.
Fucking force people are strong as fuck, man.
yeah, they can fly through space.
Well,
Fly
this
through
is
space.
why that part was so impactful for me when Luke was just standing there against all of these fucking machines. Because I'm like, if Leia can fucking fly through space, guess what this motherfucker's gonna do, right?
Exactly,
He's gonna
yeah,
tear
yeah,
some
yeah.
shit up.
And I was expecting at some point Luke to just go fucking ham.
Hammering, just
Yeah.
fucking start lightsabering shit like crazy.
The
and stuff.
Gendy Tarkovsky Star Wars and shit,
Right,
right?
Yeah.
Because we know how powerful.
yeah.
Me and Kenny know how powerful those characters can really be
Yeah.
and how cool they can
Yeah.
do. All the cool shit that
Okay,
they
Mace
can do. was
Windu?
in there.
Yeah, Mace- yeah. Andy Tarkovsky's Mace
bring down a
Windu
Star
versus
Destroyer.
George
He's
Lucas'
like,
Mace Windu
Luke
is
is
like
gonna,
just
like,
Fucking lift that shit up and throw him away.
Yeah.
He's like God at this
I was like, Luke's gonna take the gate behind him and just like slam everything.
He's gonna go fucking one shot him. I was literally like this. I was like,
I was honestly waiting. I was really waiting for Luke to have his like, this is awesome moment, and it never happened. Like the only thing was when he's getting shot and he was completely fine. Where it's like, oh, he's gonna force fuck the fuck out of here. And he's like, stop firing. I'm gonna go down there and fight him myself. I'm like, oh really?
I'm like, okay, you want to have this mano battle? Cool, whatever.
But it makes sense why he did it.
And another thing,
it absolutely does, but it still didn't lead up to anything satisfying.
Well, here's the kind of confusing thing, because Kylo wants to he wants Luke dead, and he's like, fucking shoot him. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's not kind of a bad thing to do. You're Kylo Ren. Go fuck him up. Go fuck him up.
Like, that's how you really wanted to do it.
Yeah, that's how you really wanted to do
honestly, it seemed like it was out of character, so they can just have that moment where Luke gets blasted.
Yeah,
and he's totally fine.
Yeah.
I think Kylo Ren knew he couldn't beat him. That's
I don't know. It would have been better if they just all shot at him or something. He's like, fucking stop it. I'm not this thing. I want him.
Right.
But he was so pissed.
Yeah.
He was so pissed.
I don't think the character.
I was like, yo, that's the guy. He tried to kill you when you were a kid.
Right.
You know, are you that scared? I guess.
Yeah, I think he was scared.
I guess Kylo's scared, but like that's not how you do it. He's like, all right, let's go. I'm going toe to toe.
Right.
You know?
I get what you're saying.
And it threw me off for a second, but it was funny. It threw me out. That's what this movie does. It's cool and it throws you off. It's cool and it throws you off.
Right.
So the whole fucking movie did that to me. That's why I liked it and I didn't like it. Because it's cool and it throws you off. The whole movie does that.
Why a lot of people seem super conflicted.
Yes.
It's got this awkward payoff.
I honestly felt
a lot of build-up, no payoff.
It's like awkward.
I felt kind of satisfied and surprised that Luke was so powerful. It's like with Yoda. Yoda is so powerful, but he doesn't have to do all this stuff. He already knows how powerful he is.
When did you get the impression that Luke was super powerful?
When he was revealed that he wasn't actually there.
Yeah,
he was so powerful enough
that moment was super sick, right?
That he didn't have to. He didn't have to.
And now you will never see Luke do anything
ever again. And that's what the problem with that is.
That's the problem.
That's the problem with that, is that he disappears after
Luke's sickest fucking Jedi trick was a hologram.
That's unfortunate.
Horseshit. That's horseshit, dude. Let's just boil it down. Luke's biggest moment in the current Star Wars is that he made himself a hologram.
Right. I don't know. I think that's just kind of cool, though, man.
It was cool, but it shouldn't have been the climactic of the character.
It would have been an awesome moment if I'll see you next time, kid.
Yeah. But okay, there you go. I'm with you with that, because then I'm like, yo, I can make myself a fucking Force hologram and fight you from fucking planets light years away.
Yeah.
Wait till I see you in person. That's what I said in the very beginning.
It was leading up to this. Oh man,
that's why I like the part so much. But of course, it has.
And then that scene was immediately lost its impact when Luke just vanishes all of a sudden.
And because it could have led to like a cool scene where like Luke and Kylo say in the next movie. Yeah. He does his astral projection, but he does a bunch of astral projections.
Yeah.
And Luke's basically like toying with Kylo or putting a point to Kylo where it's like,
how powerful
you're unfocused. You can't see through all my steps, because he has like a bunch of versions of himself, and Kylo's going nuts trying to hit all these fake Lukes, and he's just like, you're unfocused, you're unbalanced.
Yeah.
If you could focus, you would know who the real me is.
Can we?
We can't have that moment now.
Can we please? This is the second Star Wars movie in a row where the Force is demonstrated from this, and characters going, Urgh. Yeah. Can we please do something fucking cool with the Force?
Right.
Can we please do something that's a little bit different than the previous movie? Nothing. Something in the middle, like break a lightsaber in half, throw you around a bunch. Like they don't do anything cool with the Force. And that's why I was like, we're going to see Luke do something super sick with the Force. Wow, him making a hologram missile. That's pretty cool.
Right.
Wait, that's it?
And the problem with that is the gist of his powers. That is the best he can do with it before it kills him.
And
really Rey picks up rocks.
Yeah, it's really like
it's very unfortunate.
They're really oddly skittish about using Force powers.
They don't want to go too much in it.
It's really weird because they start Force Awakens with him stopping the lights or the blaster bolt.
Right.
And oh, that's pretty cool. I've never seen anyone freeze a laser blast like that.
Yeah. It's something
that's cool. That's kind of cool. And Luke Asperger's projecting. That's kind of neat. It's kind of new. But they're really afraid of. Because everything else they do is like someone gets choked, and then someone gets dragged around, Force pushed and pulled around.
Yeah. Someone moves rocks.
And then
don't forget
a whole lot of mind
fucking.
Cool. Whole lot of mind. He like zaps the ground once.
Yeah.
And the thing is, again, like the Emperor did that. Like that was kind of like the crazy thing about the Empire.
He shot electricity from his fucking hands.
He's like, he just like,
which is what the other previous Emperors can do.
Like, because like Luke.
So
basically,
you already know he
fucking beats Vader in a great fucking climactic showdown. Cuts his fucking arm off. and just looks at the Emperor and says, like, you know, fuck you, never throw my lightsaber. And he's just, Emperor's just like visibly upset, and he's just like, okay, you decrepit old man, you don't know what the fuck's you gonna do.
This is why
BAM! Zap your ass!
Because there was so much cool stuff that the characters were doing with the Force, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was funny because even in the cartoon, they were saying the dark side isn't about using your powers, it's about intimidation. It's about getting the people to think of how powerful you really are. It's fear. So the idea of what was the motherfucker with the forearms and shit? When he trapped he trapped all the other Jedi in that little house. It wasn't the fact that he was so goddamn powerful. It was the fact that he scared the shit out of them. Yeah. And then he went in and fucked everything up because
he wasn't even a Jedi.
He was not even a Jedi. He was just fucking cool. And I think the problem with this is that there's no real fear with these Jedi. We already know what they can do, and they're not really delving into what it is that makes them so powerful in the first place.
Like the one gimmick they had of like the Force and them like contacting each other, like that was interesting for characters, but it wasn't like it wasn't like this is some super cool Force shit that's going on. Like and it ended up being a gimmick anyway because it wasn't even like them technically
new either.
And it wasn't because
Luke and Vader were doing it in the original trilogy. They didn't present it the same way as they did visually, but they were doing the same thing.
And they're talking to each other from miles away.
Yeah,
so it wasn't even new.
Yeah.
Like I kind of bugged that Luke's ultimate fucking move. Right. His level 3 Ultra. His instinct mode. His goddamn instinct mode activation. Luke's dope as shit is making a hologram of himself.
And it tired him up. It puckered him out.
And it was so goddamn hard.
He was sweating.
I died.
He was sweating. Yeah, it's like I died. You died a lot. Max disappeared from the theater.
That is, Luke died and then I disappeared.
He couldn't fuck it. And walked out.
When we came back,
Max disappeared.
Gone.
He's now gone.
That was so hard to watch. I died.
Max was sweating while Luke was. He was like, "Why is he disappearing?"
So the ultimate question now is, with the original cast gone.
Yeah.
Except for like fucking
Chewbacca.
Anthony Daniels.
I was zero interest. I was specifically like offhands with this movie. I was a lot of hype for Force Awakens, but I was didn't watch a lot of shit for this movie. I just want to go in and be super like impressionable. I just want to have everything just thrown at me. I didn't look at reviews.
Did you watch the trailers?
I saw a couple.
Yeah.
I knew the Red Sand shit didn't show up.
Yeah.
So I was like ready to be like super impressionable.
Yeah.
And I just like majority of the movie, like a good chunk of it, I was like, this is super sick.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna chase you really slow. We're gonna go to Casino Planet. I'm like, okay, the movie is losing me now. Yep. And then the end, some cool shit starts. At the end, we're fucking gonna cut Snoke in half and fuck shit up together. Music kicks in. Oh, Star Wars! This is awesome. And then nothing cool happens.
I fucking my mouth open.
I think I'm done with the whole, because I actually didn't think about that until you mentioned it about the fucking ship is going like this, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna get these.
This isn't really intense.
Motherfucker, you can go in front of them and shoot them from here. Well, why don't you just go in front of them?
Just go to light speed really quick.
You know where they are. You're not going anywhere.
Couldn't that Imperial cruiser chase them like? Didn't they have plenty of fuel? Couldn't they have just like boosted forward?
Right? Like
I don't know. That part was just.
You have more fuel. They were still hitting them with a barrage of shots. They were clearly hitting the shields. You telling me those shields could sustain 18 hours of bombardment?
They're right out of our range. Like the entire excuse for the plot of this movie is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like,
they're out of range, even though they've caught up to them in light speed.
That was one of my
we tracked them down in an infinite galaxy,
right?
A galaxy of infinite time and space. We pinpointed their position. We're right up their ass. But we can't touch them.
We can't go any faster.
But we can't go any faster.
It's more like a Spaceball scene. Like
we can't go any faster. And that was one of my problems with the movie. I said in the beginning, it was just
and every time we explain it, it seems ridiculous.
I think the idea is that outside of Lightspeed, because Lightspeed is like interdimensional travel almost, they are going the fast as they possibly can without going to light speed.
Right. Yes.
Sub-light
there you
speed.
go.
Both ships are traveling at the maximum speed they can without going to light speed. So
no, they can't. No, you know why not? Because the TIE fighters come out. The TIE fighters go all far and they catch them. I fucked your plot hole up. And you tell me, I fucked it up. I fucked you up, motherfucker.
The TIE fighters actually got him.
And Kylo, they said, hey, Kylo Ren, come back here, motherfucker. You're too far out, and they're going to shoot you.
Jumping in the comments right now.
I know.
Well, actually.
Okay, yeah, whoever said that, I fucked you up.
Legit confused.
Because the TIE fighters go up there.
You guys are sitting here with the biggest fucking ship anyone has ever seen. Why don't you just launch 1,000 TIE fighters at them?
Yeah.
Like, what is...
Can't handle all of them. Yeah, like, I didn't understand it. Like, was that the extent of the First Order's forces?
Yeah.
I get in the last film, yeah, they lost
a lot of shit.
They lost their
But now they
planet.
got a ship that looks like the size of a fucking planet.
Yeah, and it's
That,
huge.
or they literally couldn't radio signal anyone else if they had any other forces
Why
anywhere.
don't you just launch 1,000 ships at them?
Something. Like
what the... 100 ships.
That motherfucker looked like
I said,
it had 10 Star Destroyers in that shit.
It had like a sonic bubble shield that was kind of working. Wants to just launch a bunch of fucking ships at it.
Right.
You don't give a fuck. You're the goddamn Nazis. Just start throwing bodies at it until it blows up.
Like, honestly, light speed, a little bit past them, turn the ships around, and slowly go towards them.
I know. They're going straight.
They're going straight. They're not going like...
Let's go up.
Light speed a little bit,
and then
turn around, come back.
I'm able to suspend my disbelief for like horseshit movie reasons, but this just like it was dumb.
Look, let's just put it this way. There's been some questionable things with Star Wars from the very beginning.
Oh yeah,
right.
The 12
but this one is
12 parsecs, which is a unit of measurement, not time.
Right, I understand. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yes,
but in the future it could be different.
In the Empire, it doesn't. Empire Strikes Back, it kind of doesn't make sense because Lando's like, "I'm sorry, they got here just before you did." I'm like, "Wait, they went to lightspeed in a completely opposite direction." From where Han was going towards Bespin. So how the fuck did the Empire get a signal from Boba Fett while they were going lightspeed this way? Oh, stop! Turn around!
Here's the difference between
show up before they did.
Here's the difference between nerd highlights like that. The whole movie revolves around.
Yeah, there you go.
Right,
the whole movie.
It was 20 minutes.
You can oh my god, make it 20 minutes and get that.
It lasts 2 fucking hours, and every time it goes back to the ship, the fuel is just getting lower. People are getting more freaked out, and they're still. A couple lasers are still going.
My biggest problem of this movie, it is Star Wars running away. It is 6 hours after.
Empire in a way.
Well, I know that, but still, that's the whole thing. It's just it's like 2 days after the last Star Wars, so there's no big kind of fucking change. It's just literally. It's almost like, goddamn it, it's almost like Rogue One into Episode 4.
It would have been more interesting if they were able to turn it around and actually fight back and like take out a ship or something.
And that was and then eventually after 2 hours and 15 minutes, they turned the bitch around, evacuate everyone, and then have one of the coolest moments in the movie.
Right.
It was like they were just like waiting 2 hours to eventually do that.
Yeah.
I mean, really, honestly, if you think about it, they could have gotten everyone in the pods and immediately as those pods turn the shit around and just fucking
once again, I
have a droid pilot it because then they're not alive anyways. That's the other thing. You have to have someone to pilot. I'm like, really?
C-3PO,
have fucking robots. and then like she sits there and she's not doing anything for a while. She doesn't actually pilot the ship.
She just watches everybody die
until she decides to turn it around and lightspeed there. I'm like, why didn't you just do that in the fucking first place with a robot? That seems like I thought of that in 2 seconds.
Or some of the other ships shouldn't do that. But
you know what?
Deal.
Fuck all that. You should have just told Poe.
Those other ships.
You should have just told Poe that your plan in the first place and none of that shit would have fucking happened.
Right.
So, like, none of that shit happened.
It also
just tell Poe what was going on.
It also seemed like awkward that we're flying and there's this mining planet. They're not going to see it, but it's right over there.
They got cloaks. They cloak ships.
Well, they were gonna cloak the ships, but still, like, there's this big fucking derelict mining. There's no other planet. Like, we're obviously going there. Like,
no. Okay, the ships were supposed to be like they weren't supposed to see the ships. They were supposed to be focusing on the ship, and then they destroy the ship, thinking that they took out.
I get it, but they don't pass like a fuckload of planets.
No,
like the idea is that. The rebels went to this space for a reason. They didn't just stop just because it's fucking neat.
Right, yeah.
They stopped because they need a new base, and they're going to their new base.
Yeah. And how convenient it was along this route.
Right,
random spot of space.
Right. So for some reason, they never established this is where they're going, which is weird. Like, why?
Because she never says anything about her plan.
Why wouldn't they say where we're going?
They try to say
she says you have no plan. What is your plan? Why not tell us? The people that are in your ship, yes, our plan is to go to this rebel fucking area.
And then all of a sudden, the whole we're just gonna cloak everyone is immediately outed. Like, no, it's immediately outed. So why the fuck was there even ever? Like, it didn't even linger for a bit. Oh God, they're going to the mining planet. They're already on the mining planet.
Yeah.
Oh God, go ahead and go. There wasn't even that. And it's like, oh yeah, I just told them they're going to the mining planet. Okay.
Well,
like.
Why
does nothing
Wait,
in this
were the ships cloaked?
So yes, because when Benicio del Toro's character says it, he goes, "Oh, you'll find that there's cloaked ships that are trying to like go to the planet over there."
So
why does everything in this movie go one way and then just get fucked up and not have a resolution or just go wrong? Like every single fucking thing just goes one way and then goes wrong.
So what did he do? They did like a cloak scanner to find the ships?
He gave him the
They used that sick tech.
Oh, he gave him the frequency.
They used that sick tech.
Oh, the sick tech.
Yeah,
That's right.
The
sick tech.
light speed detector.
No,
detect cloak ships.
It's just
only one ship can do it though.
It's just a weird thing where it feels like there's really only two things going on. It's just them trying to escape, and then Rey just confronting Luke and trying to convince Luke to help out or whatever.
Yeah,
but that's it. But everything else within the 2+ hours in between them, trying to escape, and then ending up on the salt planet and having their Empire Strikes Back's Hoth moment.
Yeah,
is it completely fucking irrelevant?
Yeah,
completely 100%.
It's like here, come back here. Everybody this was the film. They're running in a line. People are going back and forth. Here,
Rose, Finn, and Poe and Leia all end up on the planet, and they all decide together we're going to go on these like janky speeders and try to stop this thing.
Right.
And everything leading up to that point was completely fucking irrelevant. Rey had relevance because she went to Luke. She tried to convince Luke. It didn't fucking work.
Yeah.
Then she thought she could, make Kylo Ren not be a dickhead, but Kylo Ren's ultimately always a dickhead, even if he isn't following the buttheads. So
to be honest, her going down that planet to find Luke was irrelevant too, because she just realized, oh, I'll just go to Kylo Ren instead. I don't really need to.
Well, I mean, she gets a little bit of training.
She gets training, and ultimately, the contact with Kylo Ren is what forces her to do it, and that could have happened anywhere. So.
Right, it didn't need to go through the. And what kind of training did she get again? She found herself. She really didn't get that much training.
Yeah, in all honesty, she didn't.
She didn't get any fucking training.
It looks like you have 3 things, you never get to the third.
Once again, another thing that never actually goes. Like the third lesson, whether or not it's going to be put in the next movie, is not in the movie.
She's such a badass fighter.
And like lesson,
where did you learn this shit?
Lesson 2, where like the Jedi were too prideful. That was like his second lesson when she's sitting by the little pool and like.
I was kind of like that. I'm like, oh, look at that, man! He's fucking finding out the Jedi aren't all cracked to be, they're all cracked.
But it's just Luke being just kind of like, oh well, all this bad shit happened because he like references the prequels. Yeah, like that's his basis for the Jedi being fucked up. But I'm like, well, it's.
You know what might go somewhere, which they didn't really explain, is the fact that Ren took the kids. Because after he took the kids and he slaughters and he slaughters a bunch of them. So there's a lot of Jedi kids around.
Well, it would have almost made more sense if we saw something like referencing the other kids,
right?
Yeah,
instead of some random kid.
Right, exactly. Like there's kids out there.
The Knights of Ren, and they were referencing.
Yeah, they were referencing. We never saw
material in the last movie.
Oh, okay.
They said
oh my god.
Okay.
That whole fucking thing. We don't even know what the hell it means.
The Knights of Ren. I got you.
Yeah.
So the scene of Force Awakens, which in the scene of
the flashback
Jedi
scene that she has
destroyed at Luke.
Oh no,
you see them with lightsabers and stuff.
We see them with like crazy.
Now it's like
it
was
these cool looking ninjas guys.
They just left. They didn't do it. They slaughtered.
We don't know what happened to the other Knights of Ren. We just know
that's what I fucking wanted in this movie. I wanted cool other characters that you see. Yes, Boba Fett sucks, but these could have been Boba Fett ass dudes that you could have saw and said, "Oh, fuck, these guys are fucking cool."
And his like ex Luke shitheads is actually super interesting.
Right,
interesting.
And they literally, I completely forgot about it because I hadn't seen
the movie in a couple years. There's no. Are they the guys? Are they the red guys?
That have been so crucial. Like after the stupid Starkiller base was destroyed, it's like, oh shit, we need everything yet. Summon the Knights of Ren. Like we're all going out to hunt like Rey and Luke and all that. Yeah. Better than chasing and like some of them gonna chase down the rebellion too. Like
one ship chasing another.
Yeah, another more chasing.
I totally didn't. I like you said, it's been a long time since I saw the first
two fucking like
you see it. They make really
flashbacks.
That would have been really great. That's why I was saying, like, whoa, he took the other kids. What did he do with the?
Was that he took some and then killed?
Yeah, killed the others. Right. Yeah. So I'm like, okay.
And those some were the Knights of Ren.
Right.
That is like established in the first movie.
But I thought they said something.
Holy fuck, they're cool.
It's cool looking.
Holy shit, those guys are badass.
They died or something.
For some reason,
they never said. They never mentioned.
Luke says he took some with him and then killed the others who were loyal to Luke.
Right.
But that's the only reference.
Episode 9 they'll show up.
Yeah, episode 9.
I mean, it's really weird for them to have a whole movie where they don't explain things that are completely left unexplained in the first one.
It's the longest Star Wars movie ever, and then most of it is
so much.
Most of it is just kind of like pointless filler.
I am the more I'm thinking about it, because I really did want to like this movie, like, and I actually think Force Awakens is a much better movie now that I think about it, even though there's a lot of unexplained stuff. It seemed like it was setting up things to be explained, so that's not plausible, but that's okay, you know. If you're setting things up for cool future events, that's okay.
Yeah.
This movie not only doesn't set anything up.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Is there's not a lot of setup.
There's not a lot of setup, and there is no technical answers to the stuff from the first movie, or cool references to, like...
Or they're not good answers.
And I am... The more we're thinking about it, I'm fucking shocked that this was the script for a Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
This was your, like... This is like the biggest
one that was also troubled, right? This one had problems.
No,
that was Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Rogue One had a lot of problems. This one didn't. In fact,
this is the director they love so much. They're giving him the new trilogy.
This is the director they love so much. They're giving him.
I'm going to say this. I think the problem with Star Wars right now, with the 2 new films, and probably will happen the 3rd one, is we keep talking about how they're playing it safe. There's a lot of corporate influence in here, hitting all the beats. They have to have these old characters come back to carry the cast, because the original characters can't carry it on their own in this. I think the problem is they need to take more risk and cut ties. Like, I mean, the characters are dead now. They can't go back to them.
Yeah.
Maybe the new trilogy that they're doing that's set in a different part of the universe might be better, because they're not hamstrung by having to deal with all this past lore and stuff.
It was ultimately one of the reasons why I kind of liked Rogue One, outside of having like one of the best 3rd acts in Star Wars ever, is that it did take a risk. It had one of its main characters like have a moral like a moral compass that was different than any usual hero. Like, it was the side of the rebels that you really don't want to see, like the kind of scummy side where they have to get shit done. That was kind of interesting, even though it had no likable characters, like besides like Donnie Yen doing cool shit and his friend, but and the robot was pretty cool. But the main girl, like Jin and what's his name, weren't interesting at all, and that was ultimately like a problem.
Yeah.
But my God, man, I really do feel that Rogue One is honestly like a better movie.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't for Luke, I would say absolutely Rogue One is a better movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rogue One has a purpose and a story.
And a great fucking 3rd act.
Yeah, the only flaw with it is like they don't give the ensemble enough time to really like gel and give them they just throw them together. It's like, okay.
And they start doing stuff.
Cool one-liners and like stuff like action scenes.
Really, 2nd act of Rogue One's kind of like rough. Like, you can feel the reshoots, you can feel all the stuff that happened. With the 3rd act is really solid.
But at least like the premise did something like interesting, and it thoroughly enhanced A New Hope. Like, that is what it did. At the end of it, I was man, it makes A New Hope feel really fucking important. Like, this whole thing that them stopping the Death Star, it actually really enhances the Star Wars trilogy.
It gave you answers.
It gave you answers, and it properly like homage to. That's why people think about like Darth Vader and his like delivery and lines and shit. Like, it has one of the coolest fucking moments I've ever seen in a movie.
Oh,
Vader
you
getting
choked on your ambition?
That scene in the hallway with Vader was way better than actual projection. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Vader got his moment finally.
Exactly, dude. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It led up to like one of the most goddamn badass things I've ever seen in a movie. Vader fucking shit up.
Once again,
this is awesome,
he's incurring fear before he starts fucking shit up. He incurs fear before he does that shit. Everybody's losing their mind because this motherfucker's standing there,
right in that room,
right in the room with you, and you're like, we need to get the fuck out.
I'm getting literal goosebumps thinking about how badass that moment is. Like, that moment was fucking awesome. And then the whole thing where he's murdering people, go! And like, get in the goddamn thing! Get this door! And then it's like, we have one thing and it's hope. Weird CG layout, but goddamn, the energy at this ending is fucking awesome.
And that's what I was hoping with Luke at the end of it, when he just appears, and all of a sudden I was going to get that Vader moment again.
Yeah, you're going to get something. Some cool-ass, like, wow, my badass character's going to do something kind of badass. Like, I don't need him to do flips and shit.
No, I don't need that.
I don't need...
Vader didn't do
something smart. Do something smart. Case in point, with what was it, X-Men? The second one, the second X-Men. It wasn't. It was when you see Magneto coming up to this guy, and he has like all these grenades on him, and you're gonna see Magneto do some cool shit. But then all of a sudden, all he does is he just takes the
pins out.
The pins out. Yeah. That's all he needs to do. Just smart shit like that is what I like in a character that's so fucking that is so powerful, but that they do something smart with it, that he doesn't have to overdo it. I like that because it gives you an idea of what the character can really do in your imagination. You can imagine what the character can do. But with Vader, it brings fear and you can see what he does, but you know he can do more.
You really see like what made people scared as fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
like people tell stories of that shit, and Jesus Christ, like it.
Jeez, yeah. Like,
how the hell did they not take advantage of that with Luke?
Right.
In New Hope, they established how badass of a pilot he is.
Yes,
highly skilled, and then we all mentioned that he has like the X-wing. Just in the water there.
I was like, oh god, like, Luke is gonna show up with the X-Wing.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Like that, he should have showed up and like combined with his like god tier Jedi like ability to like read and like move, like manipulate the Force and stuff. He's just gonna single handedly save all of them and stuff. And like the whole line, like, what do you expect? Luke Skywalker was gonna walk in there and defeat everyone? He goes, yeah, I was. You know, I was gonna show up and defeat
how cool
them all.
would it have been if we got like if we got the TIE fighter to show up? I'm sorry, the X-wing with Luke in it to show up, and we see like Force powers with an X-wing. Like, what the fuck is Luke going to do inside an X-wing now with Force powers?
Well, it could have been, like, shooting down, like, TIE fighters and then, like, seeing Poe in trouble and, like, Force moving him out of, like, to safety or something and, like knocking down one of the...
TIE fighters.
And knocking down one of the AT-ATs or whatever, the new ones
You could tease it and be like this thing where, like, we've been calling from help all around the galaxy and no one's answered. Wait, I got something.
Yeah.
Sir, you're gonna want to take a look at this, and it's this lone fucking X-wing just rolling in.
One thing.
Yeah. Something, like fucking something, and then all of a sudden just fucks shit up, and then gets shot down like haphazardly, and in the wreckage of the ship, Luke just walks out. Like,
I know what you're
fuck, man!
I know what you're
saying. He just disappeared!
I know what you're saying.
Come on, dude!
It's like teaming up, too. Like, that scene when the Falcon shows up.
Fuck, man! We're making such a better movie right now, dude! This is so...
Write the script! Write the script! We can save this! We can save this!
How did they come to this fucking... I don't...
Somebody get a script right now!
Dude! What the fuck? I'm getting pissed. We literally just came up with something that would have been cooler, like with a Luke and fucking... like...
It's Chewie and Luke.
We know what the Jedi is capable of. We've seen it multiple times before, but yet this is the climax of his powers.
Ultimately, I know he wasn't going to do it because of just how how he is about it. He's fucking sick of it. But you shouldn't have. You should not have killed Han off. First of all,
no, Han Solo.
Yeah, you should not have. He should not.
It's just Harrison Ford. All of those guys.
I know. I know you could. There was no way you could convince Harrison Ford to do it again because he did not want to be in any more Star Wars. Yeah. But you probably shouldn't have convinced. You probably shouldn't have killed him off. Again, like leading up to what you were saying, like Han should have maybe kind of been maybe something to be the key to get Luke off the planet, and then. Tying it up into leading to a moment where you see the Falcon flying in with Luke on the X-Wing, and it's like everyone's fucked, and it's like, wait, here come the two fucking heroes from days of yore coming, but they're fucking back together again finally or whatever. But maybe the ending, having the ending of them just all being on the Falcon, all kind of bummered out. And there's like 20 fucking rebels left.
Yeah, right.
It could have been like, amazing if the lead up to that ending was just kind of like, how are we going to survive this? And it's like, don't worry, we've been through this before. And you see all three of them, Han, Leia, Luke, Chewie, kind of thing, all together, like on the Falcon, like, don't worry, like, we got this kind of thing.
It would have been nice to see them all on the big screen all together at once.
It would have been nice. But having it ending with a pump up for like episode 9, like, oh shit, like we finally got the band back together. And even if we're fucking decimated, like people wise,
the band is back together.
We got the band back together. Like we're gonna fuck this guy's shit up in episode 9.
We got some new characters here. The new cast is also going to help us out. The youthful characters.
Yeah.
You could say we got a new hope.
Right. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, shit. The final line of the movie should have been, we got a new hope. Boom. Right.
See that?
Yeah, like the climax of this movie should have been the new and the old basically coming together even after all this horrible shit happened to all of them. Being like, we're going to fuck shit up in 9.
Yeah.
We're all going to fuck shit up in 9. Nobody's dying until 9.
Let's fuck them.
Let's fuck them up.
Fuck them up.
I am
none of the original cast is dying until 9, God damn it.
I am thoroughly upset that the most basic interpretation you have of this movie, based on the previous one where they killed Han Solo, is that, oh, Luke dies in the end. Did you see the trailer when Luke dies? Like, that fucking, like, meme? Because, of course, like, I'm gonna make that joke because they're not gonna kill Luke Skywalker, and they totally fucking just do it.
Yeah, you even made that joke to me.
I mean, because, they're not gonna fucking kill Luke Skywalker, at least not in this movie. Like, it's gonna have to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
And they literally... they just no, they did it. They killed Luke.
The thing is that he made himself disappear, so there is a chance that he's just tired. And
He's gonna come back for sure as a Force ghost.
If Yoda can torch stuff as a ghost with lightning, Luke could probably do some cool stuff.
But yeah, I get it. They live on as Force ghosts, so the character isn't technically dead.
Yeah.
But yes, the character
is not.
Luke died after making a hologram of himself and got tired and disappeared. That is Luke's
finale. Yeah.
Too many of his midichlorians died.
Yeah,
he used all of his midichlorians. He had only had so much bar. It cost like 4 meters.
Yeah, he used his super.
And then he ran out of life.
Drinking that yak.
All his mana. He has no more mana.
He forgot to get the yak's milk right before.
Yeah. So, that's right. He needed the yak milk.
He's out of juice.
Oh shit. And that giant fish he killed. He needs more of that.
His crazy ass funky grandmas weren't there to res him.
They had res him, right? And they couldn't.
They weren't there to res him.
Right. You know, they could have gave him the massage that he needed, his deep oil massage that he needed.
Why couldn't the fucking yak grandmothers
take care of him? No.
They've been there for billions of years or some shit.
The
Jedi, like fish nuns.
The cute little penguin thingamajigs, they put a hex on him for Chewbacca killing and eating one of their kind in front of all of them. They got their revenge.
Yes,
You're like, oh, you killed one of ours?
Penguin
we
hex.
took one of yours back.
You know what? They are the real Sith Lords. That's what's going to happen. They're going to turn out to be the real Sith Lords as those women.
Yeah, they were summoning Snoke.
They're summoning
Snoke was their creation.
They are the ones behind it all. This whole time. That's why the dark side was in we got it.
Are you ready?
The dark side was there and they were in control of it.
Are you ready to have another movie where those things are squawking around all over?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's happening.
That's why that giant milk monster was looking at him funny.
There's always going to be
like, I'm controlling him with my tit milk.
We'll feature Chewbacca exclusively.
I'm the dark side.
Maybe three to four scenes of Chewbacca, and he'll be being like pestered by a porg. That is Chewbacca's ultimate role now. He has been demoted to porg gag.
Oh god.
That's what's going to be episode 9. Is that one porg that was hanging around his ship will just be that's Chewbacca's sole reason for existing.
The fucking milk monster is the Sith Lord. He's controlling him with his tit milk, and every time he drinks, he becomes more to the dark side. That's why he gave him the funny look. He drank and he was like, "Dark side."
Steve,
tits. He was drinking. You saw the funny look that he made.
Tits.
We all saw it.
Tits are not
right.
Tits are not directly between the legs, Steve. That was a dick.
Oh God, Simmons.
Oh, speaking of tits, they let's just have Kylo Ren shirtless.
Yeah.
Once again, corporate influence. Corporate fucking influence.
Trolling my daughter saying that they were going to do that, and there's going to be a shower scene.
Yeah. I
trolled my daughter.
Almost like Luke, they're going to kill Luke, and there's going to be a shower scene with.
I trolled her on the way, and I showed her photos of Adam Driver, like his mom, and like, oh, this is from the movie. It's going to happen, and it fucking happened.
It's another one of those beat things.
It is literally a beat.
In all of the Marvel movies, there is a scene where one of the Marvel superhero dudes is shirtless.
Yeah.
In every single one, and you can just point it out, like, oh, Star-Lord gets captured in Guardians 1, and he has to go through the prison, get a shower.
Yeah.
Have that happen, Oh, have Black Widow walk in on the Hulk taking a shower in Avengers 2 or whatever the fuck. Like, have these scenes, like Thor getting his hair cut and whatever.
Oh, Thor Ragnarok. Have him be.
It's like beats, man. It's like, not related to the movie, but man, you saw that preview for that Hugh Jackman musical movie, Barnum and Bailey circus thing. I'm like, dude, I looked over at you, I'm like, this is a blowjob movie. This movie is exactly made for guys to get fucking head. It was like so disgustingly on point. Hugh Jackman, a musical, period piece, romance. I'm like, okay. This was all done for the benefits of guys' dicks everywhere. Being stuck on awkward dates. I'm like, that's how I feel like you with the porgs and shit too. I'm like, we need to sell toys.
You know what? If those little diamond foxes come out and they look really cool, I might just get one because I dug those toys.
You know what?
Oh, the Final Fantasy foxes.
They made sense because they were like running to refuge.
Yeah.
And then it was weird when they were just all chilling and no one mentioned them. Does anyone notice all these fucking weird dogs?
Yeah.
They came in with them.
Hanging out. Carbuncles running around.
Yeah. And then again, it's like that. But then they serve a purpose. They actually move the characters from one place to another, so I'm okay with it.
Right.
The porgs like shit on stuff.
And they were forced on the screen. Chewbacca, he was like, "Oh shit, I'm doing stuff," and then all of a sudden you see a big giant close up of the thing going. and you're like, oh, it's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they're making little stuff and everything. I was like, oh,
I didn't see any trailers of the movies, but I saw fucking porgs everywhere, and it's like the internet's going crazy over the porgs.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm not.
There were literally sea lions. There were literally baby sea lions.
No.
I don't hate them.
No, it's just
And I don't hate them. I don't love them. I just think, well, they solely exist to sell plushies.
right, and I felt that way with the
They're Ewoks,
Jar Jar Binks,
yeah.
you know, and then the Ewoks and stuff like that.
In the
They're
end,
just forced.
the more
Ewoks are less forced because they actually did serve a story purpose.
yeah, they did.
You know, one's a distraction.
Why not
they
bring
try to
Ewoks back?
confiscate.
Why not bring
People
Ewoks
hate
back?
Ewoks.
I hate them.
And I get it.
They served a purpose in the story,
Yeah.
but still, they were like
Dislike
kind of
everybody?
not.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't have
because
a
we
problem
like
with
because we
Ewoks,
saw them
really,
when we
but-
were kids.
Well, I mean, it's bears. Bears shit in the woods,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. You
When I
know,
was
it's
a kid,
just,
I'm like, look at those little
and-
fucking things. They're cool.
so
whatever.
now-
They served their fucking. But they didn't make 2 movies about them.
No,
It's
no.
like,
Let's stop talking about this movie. The more I'm talking about it, the more I'm like not liking it. I have to like remind myself of those really good moments, which are really good moments. And if those moments weren't there, this movie would be a very tough swallow.
You know what's funny? Like when we first sat down, I had in my head I really liked this movie, but after we all just started breaking it down.
Because we're breaking it down. That's what our reviews are.
unfortunate.
This is what we do
Now I
every
really don't
time.
like
We
this
go to the
movie.
theater
I really don't
and
like
we
this movie.
have this conversation. But this is like we film
and sometimes
it, now.
it goes in completely different directions.
Yeah.
Like at the end of Ghost in the Shell, I actually didn't hate it.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
much
yeah.
less
yeah.
people ended up like really hating on that movie.
Yeah.
Like the reason that ScarJo was ScarJo as Makoto was actually explained in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I thought, like wow, the way
Rather
they-
well.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
yeah.
actually handled well.
Yeah,
the fact
yeah.
that it was a Japanese woman's persona put into this
This
white
white
chick
chick, yeah.
because it is like that way in the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway. There's not every movie we're like this on.
Yeah.
Like Guardians 2 was a great movie earlier
Yeah.
this year. It was almost hard to find any complaints about it. Like this one is specific because it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like it was handled super well, and I am shocked that this movie seems to be getting really high critical praise right now.
Only
it is?
the major reviews, but the public right now, the public that
But
I'm
the
seeing
public
on Twitter,
reviews are
and I
like
was
weird.
checking, and right now on the popcorn score is like a 67 or something like that.
Yeah.
So the user reviews
Dude,
are really high.
And the
The-
critic
the
reviews
critic-
are like at 96.
Yeah, and
Jeez.
the public's at 67.
And every time I've checked Twitter, like before the movie, I was like, "Oh God, scroll! Somebody said Star Wars something," and I would scroll and I'd avoid it. But now I've gone back up, and there is like the greater, very large percentage of people that I know that are Star Wars fans that went to see this. They're just like they don't know what to feel.
Yeah, even L.I. Joe's just like, I don't know.
It was a
man.
huge.
L.I. Joe, yeah.
I mean, that's just one,
Yeah.
but there's like a lot of other people.
There's a lot more, yeah.
And there's other people that saying it's like it's the best Star Wars movie, and I'm like, I
Yeah, they're saying it's the best one since.
People saying it's the best one, and I'm like,
Period.
Since Force Awakens.
Not since Force Awakens,
Since
since
Empire.
Empire.
probably.
since Empire Strikes Back.
But
or
still-
something like
it's
that.
like, no.
there seems to be a lot of people just as conflicted as we are.
Yeah, like I'm in that boat where
I don't want to hate it.
None of the prequel trilogy was any good whatsoever, and now they're 2 movies in, and neither one of them have like blown me away. That I'm like, this is fantastic.
Well, here's the
Like,
thing. I feel
it's
7,
like,
8.
how many chances?
7,
do I
8 are like
need? Yeah.
adequate films.
Yeah,
They're, like adequate. The prequels are trash. You know, the originals are classics. And then we have some like adequate. Like it's like they're not terrible. They're not great. They're not tainting the legacy or anything, but they're just kind of there. And here's the shitty thing, and maybe it's just me talking out of my ass, but I don't see this having the legacy of the classic trilogy.
No.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
no.
Because here's the thing, it's like
Absolutely
I don't hear kids talking about Star Wars like ever.
Well, there is some
Especially not about the new movies.
prequel shamming is now a thing, though.
Sure,
Like,
prequel shamming
which
is
is
a thing.
weird.
But
Which
I
is
mean,
really
I'm
weird.
just saying, like, I don't like going into like late '80s, early '90s. Star Wars was in a dead period from the end of Jedi to like the special editions. There was like that almost 15-year gap where there was no Star Wars anything being made except like games. And even in that time, you loved Star Wars. Kids played Star Wars.
Star Wars was still big.
I remember Star Wars being a thing, even though the movies were fucking old. 2 years past Episode 7, no one was. I never saw any kids, ever sitting there going like, oh, let's play Star Wars. I want to be Rey. I want to be Poe. I want to be Finn. I am Finn. I'm this guy. I'm that. And no one cares.
Yeah.
Like the only people who care are the millions and millions of adult,
Yeah.
Star
That
Wars
used
fans
to
who are
watch it,
buying
because-
all the tchotchke shit.
Yeah.
ATSTs, you know, and all that shit.
ATSTs.
Like they're the ones who are all super hyped, but it's like as far as like legacy goes, I just don't see this new trilogy having the lasting
of all the
legacy.
new Star Wars shit that Disney has done. The stuff that has hit me like the most, it was like this was fucking awesome. Was the third act of Rogue One?
Yeah,
I was like thoroughly like this is really.
But like overall, it's like Rogue One is like forgotten now too.
Absolutely, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
but the third act and the Vader moment in Rogue One are like. Wow!
You will, you at least remember that hallway scene with Vader. You know,
I mean, but not even the hallway scene, just like the ramming thing and all the crazy goddamn tension.
The build
one of the best fucking space battles ever. Like it was awesome.
And the characters and everything.
That was all really cool. I won't take anything. I don't want to take anything away from that. But yeah, I don't like. I think they'll just remember like, oh yeah, they happened. They were pretty good. It's like they're basically Doctor Strange.
I feel like the.
It works. They're Doctor Strange.
Oh.
It's okay.
Good to watch, but not memorable.
They're good to watch, and they're kind of just like
I saw that movie
again.
They have one more chance. They could do something like mind-blowing with
Yeah.
episode 9.
Because we all know that Solo is not going to be good.
Yeah.
We already know.
Oh, I'm excited to see Solo because I'm excited to see. Yeah.
It's
How
already
bad did this turn out? I gotta see.
It's already a goddamn train wreck, and if they could salvage a little bit, then.
Well, they're saying the production is really bad or something.
Oh, there's.
Oh, Steve.
Oh,
Steve.
Very
You have not been keeping up at all.
No, I haven't. I don't give a shit. It's
Oh,
Star Wars.
man.
It's Star Wars.
That's a whole nother discussion. But yeah.
Okay.
It is
But
a
yeah, I don't
long-going
see
nightmare.
9 turning it around because J.J. Abrams is coming back to direct 9.
Right.
I'm just like, woof, nothing's getting answered
Right.
at all, ever.
It maybe doesn't like. I don't know if it. I don't really foresee it doing anything like huge twisting,
Yeah.
but maybe it could have some really string of really memorable sequences that you're like, damn, that sequence when they did that, or that space battle was better than any space battle, even better than the Rogue One space battle. Like nothing compared to this space battle.
Stuff like that.
Or like that action sequence on some base or whatever, like the actual shootout or whatever.
But the reason you like Star Wars, which is because of its cast of characters and their relationships with each other and their conflicts, is absolutely not.
That's the thing. I'm not pumped.
That's like the most uphill to impossible battle they have right now.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's not that. I don't think it's the actor's fault. I think they do.
It's not the actor's fault.
They do a fine job in the movies, but I am not pumped for any of these characters to see these characters do anything. I'm not pumped to see any of them do anything.
You know what's funny? Even at this point, if they get together and like go as a team and everything like that, it feels like they're like fucking Mortal Kombat X B team. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like it's fucking
the Jackie and the
shit like that. Like I don't give a shit.
You know what I'm excited about? You know what I'm excited for characters to talk and relate to each other and shit like that? Fucking Deadpool and Cable.
Yeah,
I can't fucking wait. I don't even want to see him. I don't even see him fight things. I just want to see him talk to each other. I just want to see the characters talk to each other in that movie. It's like a Quentin Tarantino film. I just want to see him talk.
Josh Brolin and Ryan Reynolds just talking.
Thanos and Ryan Reynolds.
You read the comics, right? The Deadpool.
No,
and
I just know of their relationship. That's all old Rob Liefeld shit.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
here's my last thing that somebody said. So who the hell is Snoke? They put more time into Rose's pointless backstory than the main villain.
She got more of a backstory.
Rose got more backstory.
Rose got more backstory.
2 movies and 4 hours later.
And our question still isn't answered. What's wrong with your face?
Yep.
What's wrong with it? It's so fucking weird.
I want to know more about the Sith.
Wait,
I want to know about the dark.
No, I don't know. Is he a fucking pumpkin? I don't know, dude. What's wrong with his face?
I need this question answered. He is an alien,
an evolved pumpkin.
We don't know.
We don't know. We're never gonna know.
Where did he come from?
Where did he go?
I'm pretty sure he's an alien, guys.
It's not that again, not that
he must have been an alien deformed.
My God, this was a complete waste of Andy Serkis's talents.
Yeah,
to have him sit in a chair and stand up and wave his hand around and snarl. Like, come on! You motherfucker was Caesar and gold.
And he got paid like $20 million to do that.
Good for him. We're done. Yeah, we're out of here.
Goddamn.